patreon.com/podcast and submit your question. Aaron and Ben are going to answer your super chats, so send those our way. And Ben, what's up tonight?
Anything else you got to say, Mr. Poland? All right, here we are. We haven't done these podcasts in a long time. Why? I don't know. Maybe I'm too busy. Maybe Rafal's too lazy. I don't know, but we're doing it. Why not? What the hell? All right. Do we have a special guest tonight? Yes and no. He's a guest, but he ain't so good. No, he's very special, but he's no longer a guest. There you go. We have Jimmy Hart, the first resident of Mallah Senior Assisted Living Facility.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank
resident.
you.
I'm running an assisted living facility for celebrities.
Thank you so much. Hey, listen, can we play a game tonight? We've got Carla's off camera. She's in the house tonight, and she asked earlier, she said, look, will you please, Ben, quit saying the F word so many times? How about $50 every time you say it? You people at home, count them up. This goes to Carla. Let's see if this works or not. Maybe it'll keep him from saying the F word. I know he's got a ton of money, but let's see if it's going to work. Okay, Aaron, look at Aaron's looking in the mirror going, I like my beard.
Fuck that!
There you go, $50.
All right, so Jimmy, what are you doing? You got to rush out of here. You're late. This guy's flying out every goddamn other day. Where are you going now?
Well, tomorrow morning early, I go to Canada for 4 days, then back to Buffalo, New York, and then back, and then I go to Atlantic City to see.
Can we tell the story about why you would refuse to fly into Canada or only go by road?
Well, the reason why is because what I like to do is like to drive over instead of flying over, because every time you get there, I mean, it's like 5 or 6 hours of trying to get through the thing. Well, the real truth is this. Back when I was doing the WWE trips to Canada and our action figure out and everything, every time I'd get stopped, because evidently there was a guy named Jimmy Ray Hart, same as mine. He was born in January, just like me. He was born in 1944, just like me. But this guy had an unbelievable criminal record. So because of that, they'd always pull me over and they go, well, Jimmy, we know you're with the WWE and we know you wrestle and everything else, but we still got to make this check. So I got so tired of doing it now, I drive over. It's a lot simpler to do that. But
I'd like to do a search on how many bad people are named Jimmy Hart.
Ooh!
It sounds like the name of a guy that would really be bad. Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart.
Hey, let's talk about the movie we went to the other night.
All right. So we went out to the movies. It was a movie night at Mallah's Assisted Living Facility for Celebrities.
And we
took Jimmy out in the big baby roles. Carla, me, him, and Paulie. We got him his own popcorn. You have your own soda too, right?
I had my own soda.
No,
wait a minute. Let's tell the real truth. Ben was so cheap for all 5 of us. You know what he did? He bought 1 soda with 5 straws. That's how cheap this guy is. That's the truth. Ask Aaron. Am I right, Aaron?
I'm drinking out of the same straw with you. Listen, I did do this. And Carla asked me, because she's buying the tickets online, and Carla said, she asked me, are you a senior? She asked me, I qualify because you get a discount of $4 from 12. It goes down to 8 if you're a senior. I guess she was trying to be funny, but I thought about it. I said, hell yeah, Jimmy's a senior, Paulie's a senior, and even if they weren't, who the hell's going to question them? And buy 2 senior tickets. Did you buy 2 or 3? You probably passed me off as a senior too.
But think about this. This is the deal. We got in for a senior discount, right? And we still enjoyed the movie like y'all did, and y'all paid more money to go than we did. So
you enjoyed the movie.
The movie was great.
I can't believe we sat there. It was 3 hours with previews and everything.
But here's what made it so cool. Here's what made the movie so cool. Ben and us, Carla, myself, Aaron, all of us went to Memphis, 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
We went to Graceland, where I grew up. We went to where Elvis, I showed him where Elvis was raised over there in Lauderdale Courts. We went to Sam Phillips' studio. We went to Sun Records, and I took them around to all the great Bill Street. We went to all the great places around there that were in the movie. So it was kind of like watching the movie that we've all been part of at one time.
That's right. Jimmy used to record the same studio as Elvis, baby.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, maybe you could pass for Elvis if they did a movie of if Elvis would have lived.
What does that mean? Elvis would have lived. Don't look at
you could have played the movie. If Elvis would have lived, this would have been.
Trust me, the guy that played Elvis on this, he was great. He'll probably get an Academy Award for it, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the movie really wasn't about Elvis. What interests me in the movie was the whole story about, I never knew about the guy that managed him. Okay, this guy came from the fucking circus acts. I mean, those guys that ran those
$50.
carnivals.
Mark that down. You said
I said circus, not
no,
fuckus.
no. You said the blanking circus
the
act.
fucking circus act.
There are 3. That's
I didn't say
150.
that.
150.
The
Bob.
duck one. Anyway, the guy comes from that atmosphere running circuses. Those are the most cutthroat, hustling people you ever met in your life. And this guy got a hold of fucking Elvis.
Oh,
he
4.
went from doing the goddamn elephant, the guy standing on the elephant at the circus, to fucking Elvis.
5.
I
That's
mean,
5
come
times
on.
you said the F
That
word.
guy hit the jackpot, boy. He worked the shit out of it for a long time.
But you did a lot for Elvis, though.
What?
He made 50% of it. But look, Elvis did all the work.
Listen, the sad story is that Elvis died at 42. The last 2 years of his life must have been ridiculously miserable. And the old guy, he ended up dying later because he was already old.
People who haven't seen the movie, so don't.
Well, I'm just telling him in case they want to see it.
Good,
The old guy
that's good, Carla.
died just playing slot machines and pissing away the rest of the money.
Don't say the whole movie.
All right, that's the end of the movie.
Hey,
Jimmy.
before he does, let me cut in. But guess what? I had a chance to meet Elvis at one time, which I told y'all before.
Don't say anything. You're live right now, so be
No, I
careful
know it. I'm telling you the
what
truth.
you admit. You don't want to
A-
incriminate
A
yourself.
friend of mine named Marty Lacker, if you look in the Elvis Mafia books, him and George Klein were friends of mine back in the day. George Klein went to school with Elvis Presley at Humes High School along with Marty Lacker. They were his best friends when they were growing up. Marty Lacker was my manager. He was kind of like the Colonel Parker for 1 year with me. And George Klein was a big DJ back in Memphis at the time who played our first million-seller record, Keep On Dancing, back in the day. So I got a chance
Look
to
it
go
up,
to
Jimmy
Graceland.
Hart. He had a #1 hit record.
Number
Keep
one.
on dancing. I don't want to embarrass him and ask him what year. But
1965.
ooh, that was the year I was born.
Well,
That 65 was a great year. The Devil Had an Angel, my mother. Jimmy Hart got our first hit record.
number 1.
65, baby.
It was a home run, baby. But going back to the story, you had me.
Going back to it? Okay, go
You
back.
had me
to it.
thinking
Go
of
way
Elvis.
back.
So I got a chance to go meet Elvis at the particular time. And then later on, I guess a year or so later, unfortunately, I got to up at the first 200 people, one of the first 200 people, because of my friend George Klein. And I got to walk by the casket and see Elvis in the casket. And I never will forget, his hands were folded and he had a big, beautiful ring on it that said TCB, taking care of business. But that's my stories of Elvis.
Yep, and you were there looking at him, and he wasn't talking back.
Wasn't talking back, baby, but his memory still lives forever. What a great movie that
You know
was.
that the house that he was born in, you maybe, I thought it was the big house. that he
Tupelo,
went to.
Mississippi. Yeah.
The one he was actually born in was a ship box, and that's in foreclosure.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
I don't think
Ben
it's got
was
much
thinking about
value.
Carla. Ben
He
was
wasn't
thinking about
famous when he
buying the
lived
house,
there.
and I said, "No, Ben, it's not Graceland."
I
Yes,
should buy it
it
for
is. Yes,
you.
it is. I said, "Oh,
I
buy it
should
for
buy
me."
that house for you.
I don't want to be in Tupelo, Mississippi. We used to
Nobody
wrestle
wants
there.
to be in Tupelo, Mississippi. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So Jimmy Hart's going to tonight. He's got an appearance at
Hogan's Hangout. One night I slipped and said Hogan's Hangover, but it's Hogan's Hangout. His son, Nick Hogan's going to be playing there at 10 o'clock tonight, but I've got to get over there early. I know I'm going to say it before you do. I know I got a job parking the cars over there, but just kidding. But like I said, we're going to go over there and have some fun tonight. But Ben, it's been great talking with you. Carla, he owes you. You owe Carla $500. No, you owe her $250. You said the F word 5 times so far.
all right. She'll get paid.
By the way,
Dearly.
Aaron, I love the shirt. Hey, how'd your stocks do today before I go? How'd the stocks do today?
The stocks,
Everybody in the comments is talking about AMD.
AMD.
We got big
AMD.
news about AMD.
All right, what do we do on AMD today, Aaron? What the hell did we do?
Today we
were sitting in a
sold.
lawyer's office, and we're going over what? How many deals were we going over in that lawyer's office? How many deals did you see me at the table negotiating and working
Must
with a
have
lawyer?
been $200 million
No, not that
worth.
much.
No. I'm talking about portfolio.
It
was $200
I
million
got $100 million
worth
sale
of
of
deals.
apartments. I'm trying to buy a shopping center for about $20 million.
20.
Trying to buy a hotel for another hotel for $18 million. I work in that deal. We're selling. We're buying. I had 2 refinances on the table for 2 hotels where the loans ran out. I had to get them modified. That's about $30 million. Shit, I don't even know. You're right. It was 200
It's about
million.
200 million,
thought
like
you
I
said
said.
you were getting out of the hotel business.
I'm going back in. I'm going to let
Oh,
you
my
run
God.
them.
Oh,
We're going to
my
have
God.
Jimmy Hart's Heartbreak
Please.
Hotel.
No, let me have the
Wait a second.
entertainment there.
I hope anybody can see the shirt he's wearing. Okay, this is the shirt for the Mexican holiday. He didn't even know it. For my wife's favorite holiday, Dia del Muerto. How do you say it? De la Muerto.
De los Muertos.
De los Muertos. You are wearing the shirt of the Day of the Dead,
Oh, well, I'm sorry. It's the only one I've got.
and you made it come alive. I don't understand. What's the story behind this shirt? Did you have a custom made? I don't think
No,
so.
this was from Lansky.
Skeletons aren't really you.
Lansky Brothers. This shirt was given to me by Hal Lansky.
The same
which
guys
we
that
went
made
to.
Elvis's clothes.
Made Elvis's clothes down in Memphis, Tennessee. He gave it to me. And so I'm going to wear it
sell
proudly
it.
tonight over there.
He couldn't sell it. He
But
gave us
look,
a Jimmy
thanks
Hart.
for having me on the #1 podcast in the world as far as I'm concerned. I love you, Ben. Aaron, keep up. I love that shirt. Where'd you get that?
Thank you, Switzerland.
Oh, I love that.
It looks
Carla,
like
Carla's
boss.
here. Carla, come on
It
over,
looks like
please.
Switzerland to me.
Carla, come on.
Bunch of
I'm gonna hold the
Europeans,
mics for you over
Europeans.
You
here.
look like a human
All right.
rainbow.
All right.
All right, Jimmy, have fun at Hogan's
All right.
Hangout.
I've got to be back
And
at a certain time.
You got a curfew. You
Sir,
better have
I
your
know
ass
it.
back here before midnight.
I promise I'll be back, boss. I'll
All
be
right.
back.
Adios, amigo. All right.
All right.
Next, what do you got? You got
Everybody's talking about AMD in
All
the
right, so tell
comments.
us
So,
what happened with AMD
basically,
today. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened with AMD. So we had 30,000 shares of AMD,
Correct.
and we sold it. You want to tell them how much you made?
Listen, the point is this, okay? I bought in too high. I wrote it down. I should have not listened to Jimmy Hart that day. If I would have doubled down at 75, I was in it at 88 or something.
Yep.
I would have made $250,000 if I would have doubled down that day. I sat there with him looking at it, but I
you
had the
can't.
balls.
You can't cry over money that we made because we made money.
Anyway, we made $100,000 maybe.
$100,000.
All right,
Well,
'cause
it was more like
basically,
120. 120
We
grand.
figured out what my average was. We calculated all the shares and what I bought it for price. I think there was only I don't know, man. I don't think it was $100,000. I gotta go back and recalculate it. I don't think so.
I think it was more.
We might have got, I don't know. We got about $3, close to $3 times 30 shares, 90 grand. So we got, and I don't think we even had, I don't know. Anyway, that's the story. We got out, we sold all the shares, we made about 90 grand, hopefully, and that's the story. And now hopefully it's gonna go down. But I'm telling you right now, the down days are when you make the goddamn money. You got to just say, when everything's in the fucking red, that's when you got to buy. Okay. And you just hope that it don't go redder, but typically when it goes in the red, it stays a day or two or whatever, or that week or whatever. But I gotta stop having some balls and buy stuff when I know it's down. Apple, all that stuff. If I make 10% over a course of a week, I mean, shit, that's crazy.
True.
But hey, I ain't got time to sit there in that goddamn room. I had to get out there today. I had to go through Willowdale. I got an offer on that. The lady's starting inspections on Monday. I got that going on. I got shopping centers I'm trying to buy. This, that, the fucking boat, electrical on the boat ain't working the way it should with shore power. You people think you got problems. The goddamn shore power, it keeps throwing a breaker because of the power difference between an English boat, I think, and an American power. And I got problems on my yacht. So, my life ain't no picnic. Hey, you got any callers tonight or what?
Yeah.
So AMD, I'm waiting now for it to go back down. All right. I think I'm going to leave shit alone in that AMD in the 90s. I'm not going to go in deeper, because I think I'm going to wait. If it goes in the 70s, I'll buy it. And, and then try to ride it up to the 90s. That's the zone that I think it's in.
I think it's going to go down tomorrow.
Well, we'll see, but we're out of it.
All right, we have a caller.
If it goes up, you'll say, "Oh, no, I should have told you. We should have waited." All right, what do we got? Who do we got? What's going on?
What's up, Big Ben? How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. My name is Mike Thomas. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
So, I'm sorry, sir.
What's up? Lower the volume. This guy, you don't mean to, but he's blowing my eardrums out.
Sorry about that. How about now? Is that better?
That's up to us to control it, I think.
I'm sorry.
So what's up? What's on your mind?
Nothing. So I got I got two questions for you. So I've been kicking myself in the ass for the past couple of years from selling all of this property. I didn't understand the tax game. I didn't understand the debt game. Took me 40 years to fucking get here. But I got two questions, and they're all about corporate structure, because I got into like a little nasty tax audit a few years back, and it's because I thought I had the right corporate structure, but ultimately I was operating as a sole proprietor. It was a very, very expensive lesson. So my first question is, for the holding component of all your real estate, can you walk me through the corporate structure? Are there holding companies? Are there?
Listen, I do everything very simple.
Okay.
All right, number one, when it comes to structure, I refer to my attorney and my accountant. Those
Okay.
are the guys that determine what's the best structure, and you start going beyond. But I keep it simple. Every single property I own is a single member LLC. It's its own little business, okay? And the IRS understands it. It's just a way of saying that you're a company and not just a person, okay? And then you have some sort of protection. So every LLC is listed on your Schedule E, I believe, is it C or E? And it shows every property, the LLC, how much you made, how much you spent, how much your NOI is. You get your depreciation, and you're done. That's the extent of my knowledge of structures. You start getting this technical shit with partners and corporate shit. I don't know. I keep it simple. And if I do, and what I'll do is, if I do have, like, my son is a partner, he'll have his own LLC, and I'll have an LLC, and together we'll own an LLC. So
Yes,
you can do that too. But otherwise, that's the extent of my knowledge and the way I do business. All this other stuff is above my head. And I always just, if I got into a situation where I had to look into that type of stuff, I would definitely not do shit without a lawyer and an accountant both on the same page. So I don't know. Sorry, real estate is simple. I don't really get into that real estate. The type of real estate you talk about with corporate structures, things like that, is when you start taking other people's money, or you start doing some other type of creative stuff, and that's not me. I just keep it simple. So
my next question is this. So I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm originally from New York, but I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina now.
Make me fucking deaf. All right, you could be an enemy trying to kill my ears. Is that what you're doing? You're a spy.
Man,
no,
I'm sorry.
Is it you over here?
Is it me? Is it me? I'll turn this shit down.
Is it me? You sound like my wife. Is it me? No, it's not you. I'm just fucking tired. I'm just kidding. What's up, man?
All right. My next question is this: so I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got a 10-acre piece of property that I had rezoned. I got approved for some storage facilities, and it's my first real jump into like a larger asset class. I'm about to go to the bank, and I've got some single-family shit, and I've got a couple of
You're gonna build a
duplexes.
storage facility on the land. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever done one before?
No.
Are you going to use a franchise?
No.
I highly recommend you do. If you've never been in the storage business before, join a fucking franchise, maybe. They got all the rules, and they've already tweaked the whole business. They know what the fuck they're doing, and that may be the safest way, but who's going to run it?
So my question is this: should I bring it to them because right now it's just raw land. I have the topography done. I had it all surveyed. I've got it all drawn up.
You got plans?
Yep, plans are done.
I'm just going to tell you, if you want money from the bank, if I was you, whether you use them or not, go into the bank with a fucking franchise, because then you got all the franchise information to lay on the table and say, hey, I'm buying into like you pick one of the stock market ones. Who's the biggest storage company in the world? I don't know.
Extra space is getting big.
It's going to show that, here's the building. I own the land. Here's the building I want to build. Here's the franchise I'm going to use. And it tells them everything they want to know about the storage business. And then I would do it that way, and then just lay it on the table. And they're going to look at you, and they're going to see how much money you got. And they're going to see what kind of assets you can tie up. And they're going to, try to tie you up as best they can to protect their ass. And they'll probably loan you the money. But I wouldn't go in there without no fucking business plan and projections and all this shit that the franchise spends money on doing.
Understood. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the advice.
Good luck to you. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. What else we got going on? What night is today? Thursday night.
Shout out Digital Swag for the first super chat. Thank you for the $10. Shout out Charlie. Let's start off the same way as always. Ben, you need to buy a Lamborghini Huracan.
Oh, Lamborghini. I can't fit in a fucking Huracan.
I can.
All right. I'm more like a hurricane. So, I can't do it. My knees are too fucking weak. I'm too fucking fat. I'm too fucking tall. So it ain't working for me. Plus, I'm not going to no midlife fucking crisis. Okay. All that bullshit. Guys go out, buy Corvettes. By the way, little Ben Jr. went out and bought a Corvette. Why? Because he's going through an early midlife crisis. And I went through it exactly 3 years before him. So, I went through all that shit. Now, I don't even give a fuck. I got a big Rolls Royce, I got a fucking Bentley. That's enough. And, my wife has all the fun. All right. She wants a fucking Huracan. But I'm going to give her a hurricane. All right. What else?
Shout out Rob. Sell your AMD tomorrow.
I already sold it today, and I made a few bucks, and I'll move on. But I'm going to wait for the opportunity for a down day. If the market's up, I have no place in it, so I'll keep doing real estate. But from now on, when I wake up in the morning and I turn on that fucking CNBC, in the bathroom, I have a TV, by the way, and I'm going to see if everything's fucking red on the screen. That's the day I'm going to stay my ass home in the fucking office and try to fucking improve the positions I have or buy some bargains.
There you go.
What else?
All right. Me versus me. Thank you for the $4.99. If I would leave everything behind and move to Florida so you could be my mentor, and work for you, will you take me in, Ben?
No. I got enough people to worry about already. I'm trying to get more into retirement. Okay. I would love to help people personally, but I couldn't do it. I have no life. And anyway, you can do it on your own. You don't need me. All you got to do is learn the basics. Find the money, find the deal, and flip it or keep it or whatever. Just get in the fucking game. All right. Whatever your level you're on, get in the game. If you need to go get approved for a loan, go get approved for a loan. You know, if you have loan approval and good credit, and go find a deal. Do it. Any idiot can. I did it.
Shout out Carter Lee. Thank you for the $49.99.
50 big ones. What's up, Carter Lee?
Great to meet you the other night at Marina Cantina. Keep up the great work, guys. From the Coney Island guy.
The Coney Island guy.
Remember him?
Oh, yeah, I remember him, but he ain't got nothing to do with Coney Island. The reason why he's a Coney Island guy is because they sell hot dogs. And
Coney Island hot dogs.
He's a great guy, and I liked him. You know why?
Why?
Because he was a little bigger than me. I always get along with people that are my size or a little bigger. But a great guy. He's not too far away from here. And you need to get a hold of me. Go to the Holiday. I told him, go to the Publix on Highway 19 in Holiday, Florida. Go look. I'm splitting the space down next to Publix. I'm giving Publix half the space to make a liquor store. That's going to make Publix happy and keep them there longer. And the other half could be a fucking hot dog place. Let me tell you, those are the two best things you need in Holiday, Florida. Hot dogs and booze. People live off that shit in that neighborhood. So get over there. Get a hold of me if you want to open up a shop over there. Okay? Let's do it.
All right. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. That sounds good.
Chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles.
I think Jimmy is on a permanent high.
Permanent high. You know, Jimmy swears, and I believe him. He never smoked. He never drank. He never did drugs. He's around a lot of people doing it. But he's just naturally cuckoo, basically. But, you know, real nice guy. I mean, you know, and he's no maintenance. Okay. So he helped me out for many, many years when I needed him. And now I like having him here, and he's never even here. He's always traveling. So let him stay on that high. I wish more people on that goddamn high. The world would be a better place. Why are you giving me dirty looks, Carla? What else you got, Aaron?
Shout out DC. 15-year day trader here. Please do not get into the habit of doubling down on a trade. It's losing strategy. Investing is different, but on a trade, don't do it.
All right.
What do you
I'll
think?
take that into consideration, but every trade's a different trade. If it's a trade of something I already got, or it's a trade I'm looking to buy, I don't know. Put it this way. If you write it down and you got the bucks to do it, sooner or later, that elevator is going to go up. And when it does, I'll have a shorter ride on the elevator. I can get off on a floor a lot quicker. But everything's different. Every day's different. Every trade's different. You know, I don't have a system. I just wing it, baby. Wing it like a bird.
Yep.
A dodo bird sometimes, because I made some shitty ass trades, let me tell you. And never listen to your brother Vincent about fucking trades. Got me invested in some fucking marijuana bullshit, and that thing ain't never coming back. I think everybody in the company must be stoned because the fucking stock ain't going nowhere but down. All right, what else?
Shout out Kimster. Thank you for the $1.99. Ben, have you ever tried Korean barbecue?
Korean barbecue? Korean barbecue is delicious. As long as it ain't the freaking store, the restaurants where you go there and they bring you the freaking food and you got to cook it. I didn't come out to dinner to cook my own goddamn food. They got a fucking grill in the middle of the table. It's ridiculous. They come out with a platter of raw meat and they expect me to cook. I took my wife out so she ain't got to cook. Now I'm going to sit here and make her cook in a restaurant? Well, you know, some people like it. I guess people that don't cook at home must like being able to go to a restaurant and cook their own food. That's what it's for, people who don't cook at home. But Korean is delicious once it's done.
Hey, Ben.
They're Mexican. All right. What's up?
El Dia de los Muertes, Ben.
Dia de Muertes.
What's up, guys? This is Brad. I'm out here in Montana.
Montana, yeehaw!
My first question is, have you ever been to Montana, Ben?
Hell no.
No, you should come
Why
out
would
to
I go to
Yellowstone.
Montana? I can't get my fat ass on a horse. Do you?
You ride a buffalo, brother.
Oh yeah, buffalo. Shit. I ain't riding nothing. The only thing I'm riding is my fucking Rolls Royce.
All right, brother. Hey,
So
I got a question. I've got a property. It's 20 acres right outside of a resort town here in Montana. Estimated value is like 1.5 to 1.8. Unfortunately, I inherited the land, and I didn't get a good step up on the taxes. So if I just sold it outright, I would owe about 2.25 in taxes. So I'm looking at my other options. I was
Can I ask
thinking
you a
about.
question before you go on?
Yep.
Okay. If somebody, and I'm not an accountant and I'm not a lawyer, but to my knowledge, okay, if everybody, how long ago did they die and leave you the money?
Well, it was my mother, and she deeded the land to us back in 2000. I think it was 17.
Okay, but doesn't she have what they call everybody to my knowledge that's a U.S. citizen has right now? I don't know. They keep changing the number, but it's up in the millions. Look it up, Aaron. What's the gift? How much gift can you give somebody? A lifetime gift. The lifetime gift is like multi-millions. Why would you have to pay tax on that? She could have gifted to you guys.
I don't know the particulars of it, but
you need to talk to an accountant, maybe, or
well, from what my accountant said,
11.7 million
per person.
That's what it says.
That's what the lawyer told you today when he told you inherit nothing, basically.
Yeah.
Right now, the way our trust is set up.
We need to figure that out.
We do. All right. So basically, I don't know what it was back in 2017. You can look it up, but you should definitely talk to your accountant and say, wait a minute, how much money does this person have that gifted away? Everybody has a lifetime gift that you can inherit for tax free.
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
All right. So here we go. You got $1.5 million piece of real estate. You don't plan on doing anything with it, right?
Yeah, right now there's a rental on it. It's an old farmhouse, and he gets about $1,200 a month. So
okay,
it's
fine. Basically, sell it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so if you sold it and you get $1.5 million, you're gonna have to pay tax of what, 20%? Or no, it's more than that. Fucking. Yeah. What are they telling you taxes?
Yeah, that's what my accountant is saying, about 2.25.
I mean, the point is, 2.25. You got to split the money with the sister. You said
no. This would
all yours.
Yeah.
How much money you got in the bank today?
Like 30,000.
Well,
I don't have it.
Tomorrow you could be a fucking multi-millionaire or millionaire. But the point is this. What are you going to do with the money? That's number one. Number two is if you were interested in reinvesting it into some other piece of real estate, I believe you could 1031 it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what you want to do. You might be better off just paying the damn tax and putting $1.25 million in a friggin' bank and calling it a day. I mean, that's a lot of money for somebody that's only got 30 grand in the bank. That's going to change your entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
You might even get that beard trim one day.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about selling real estate in the beard.
There you go. It's up to you, but I would please, before you agree, you might want to find somebody that knows some trick or some way of going backwards, accountant that can help you with the gift tax. Because I'm not an expert, but to my knowledge, that your mother could have left up to 11 million, whatever it was in 2017. Today it's 11 million. Back then it might have been half. I don't know, but it's still a lot more than $1.5 million.
Yeah, that's it. I think the way that she did it, she
buy it from her, right?
Well, she deeded the land to us,
so she gave it to you as a fucking gift.
Yeah,
you talk to an accountant, a real accountant, that knows about gift tax. Before you pay that goddamn money, if you decide to sell a property. But I'd sell it, especially in this day and age. Cash is number one king. You want to stock as much cash as you can. God forbid the whole fucking world goes to an end. You're sitting around $1 million in Montana. $1 million in Montana will go a long way in that pasture.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what. So a question real quick on this. I tried to go and do a HELOC on it because
I thought HELOCs are for personal residences.
Well, that's the thing is they said, it has to be like a summer home. You live there part.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get on a HELOC. They're not going to give you that much. And I don't know. It's up to you. You can get a HELOC if you just want to put some money in pocket. You're going to be paying interest on that money. And interest rates are going up right now. Did they quote your rate on the HELOC?
Yeah, it was around 6%.
Holy shit, that's big
I know.
money, man.
I know.
If you don't plan on doing shit with it, it's only bringing $1,200 a month in. I'd get that goddamn $1.25 million. I'd go put it in something really, really safe.
Yeah.
Like free municipal bonds. Okay. You don't go to Puerto Rico, don't go to Ohio, and don't go to Illinois. Those are the weak places with muni bonds. Okay. Go to a Merrill Lynch, you go to a wealth management division of the bank. They got to have a bank. They got plenty of banks in Montana. There's money in Montana.
Oh, yeah.
Farm boys got that money hidden.
Oh, yeah. This is not a problem.
The point is, I would invest it, and then you'll get maybe these days, the way rates are climbing, you might even get 5%. I know you get 4% right now. So you get 40 grand on million. And this is tax free. You get 40 grand on the million. You'll get another 10 grand on the 250. You'll have $50,000 a year, tax free coming in. And the beauty of it is, if you ever wanted to get your hands on some cash, the banks will loan you 80 and 90% of its value at a ridiculous low margin rate because you're borrowing against a very safe investment.
Oh, because it's cash.
$1 million or $1.25 million. If you want to tap it one day and your rate's only going to be like 2%.
Oh, really?
Borrowing against your own money. Yeah, it's called margin. You're basically borrowing on margin. So the margin rates are very low because you're borrowing your own money. So you're in a fucking whatever. There's no risk to them when you borrow a margin. They're holding your fucking stock and your bonds.
Yeah,
so you borrow at really cheap rates. But first, go try to save that goddamn $250,000 in tax.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do that first. And I was just thinking, it would be good to have some cash around. I mean, are you expecting? Oh, crap.
That's all right. You look better now.
All right. Yeah, I'll just talk. Are you kind of expecting a market correction?
The dog on. Let's see what the dog looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Am I expecting what?
A market correction here.
I mean, as long as interest rates stay up, prices have to come down. It's simple. It's a mathematical equation. So but right now the world's still in a weird place, but I think it's going to slow down. Listen, we lived through fucking COVID. We lived through, hey, there he goes, Montana Manny. What's the dog's name?
That's Gordy.
Gordy, he's not even fat.
Yeah, I'm the Gordo.
Yeah, you named the dog after you. All right, so I mean, honestly, I don't know. The world's in a weird place, but let me tell you something. Anybody that goes to bed with $1 million in their bank can sleep at night. Okay, cash money you can touch anytime you want that's making you money. So I would right now just play it safe and you'll find out about not paying that goddamn tax.
Yeah, I will. That'll be number one on the list.
All right, well, good luck to you and take care, Gordy. Roof, roof.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. All right, what do you got, Aaron?
All right, shout out MCG. What's up, Ben? It's great to see your face.
Great to see my face. I say the same thing every morning when I look in the mirror. All right.
Shout out Timepiece. Ben, I make 50 grand a month.
50 grand a month.
He's a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer.
So I don't need cash flow. I'm sitting on a ton of cash and want to invest in real estate, but your investment strategy centers around cash flow. What's the right plan for me?
The right plan for you is go find a deal. Determine how much money you do want to invest. And then whatever that amount is, tack on 80% to the bank to take a ride with you. Now you know how much money you want to invest. That'll tell you how much money you can borrow. And then you put it together and you go out and find a goddamn deal. Whether it's a shopping center, I don't know if you can find apartments. I don't know where you live at. But somewhere on this whole fucking, I'd stick in the country if I was you. In this country, there's a deal waiting for you. You just got to get out there, find it, and find the right people. If you're a lawyer, shit, you got access to all kinds of information. You can find out all kinds of shit, look shit up. I mean, you can also practice real estate without a license here in Florida. But, go find a deal, all right? And it has to be something that works within your career. Doesn't take up a lot of your time. Are you going to hire a management company? Look at the numbers. See go tell an agent, hey, I don't know how big you want to go. Start with a fourplex. Go out there and tell any local agent, hey, print me out. Wait, you don't have access to the agents, even though you're licensed. You got to go get a list of everything that's for sale and learn the market. Study the multifamilies around you. Try the fourplexes that are for sale. Go look on the commercial sites for a strip center in your area and see if something fits your cup of tea, counselor.
There you go. All right. Shout out Lukens. Let's make some freaking money.
Let's
checking
make
in from
money.
upstate New York.
Upstate. You know why they call it upstate? Because it's way the fuck up there. Let me tell you, upstate is not New York, not the city. Okay, when you leave the city and you go across that line to upstate, you think you're in a different freaking state. That's what I call it, upstate. We're not part of the state. We're upstate. It's a lot of woods. It's freezing cold, blah, 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 blah. And next stop will be Canada. What else?
Shout out Ronald Rodriguez. Hello, Ben. I'm 18 and want to start investing in real estate. What would you do if you had to start again?
You want to invest in real estate, you got to learn real estate before you can invest in it if you're only 18 years old.
Get a real estate
What
license.
do you got? You get a real estate. You got a high school diploma, you get a real estate license. That puts you in the game, gets you around people. Put a nice suit on, go work in an office for a while, see if that fits your bill. Or see if one of the brokers are willing to take you on as an intern, one of the commercial brokers. I don't know. They may want you to have a college degree. I'm not sure. But having a real estate license can be equivalent to more than a college degree because it's a license to make money. And it's a license to give you everybody's a customer, a potential customer. Everybody, or 90% of the people in this world, want or do own real estate somewhere. They either bought it, they either sold it, they need a house, they need this, they need that, they need a business, whatever. It puts you in a whole world that you need to be part of and see if you can produce and you like it. I mean, that's what I would do. Get a license, take a job, lower end, learn the ropes, go to a property management company, apply for a job there, go to an apartment building, try to be a leasing agent, and get your license online at the same time if you don't want to go to college, but at 18, you can do whatever the hell you want because, you got the world right by what, okay? You can do it, trust me. You can put your mind and do anything you want at 18. When you get to be my age, your mind don't work that great.
All right, shout out Ahmed.
Ahmed!
Ben, have you been to Turkey?
Gobble, gobble, gobble. My family came from Turkey. They ran away from Spain, the Spanish Inquisition. The Jews all ran to Turkey. Turkey took them in. But I think they were something else back then. They were called I can't think of it. It's a weird name. Anyway, my family actually came from Turkey. My grandfather left Turkey and came to Ellis Island in New York City in 1902 or something like that. So I never been there because it kind of worries me. It's kind of scary. It's still kind of religious over there. You got to act a certain way. The problem with going out of this country is you got to act a certain fucking way in most countries. And you go to any Middle Eastern country. Now, Turkey, I think, is kind of Middle Eastern, kind of European. I don't know, but I don't know. I just got back from Switzerland. That's supposed to be a mellow place, or I still feel like I can just be myself. So I don't know. Maybe one day, but I don't know. Isn't Turkey fighting with Iraq or Iran right now? Something like that? Iraq?
I don't know.
I just saw something on the news. And I'm not going nowhere dangerous. I can't, living with my wife is danger enough for me. You never know when she wants to whack me. All right.
All right,
else?
shout out Han Ting. Thank you for the $10. What do you do to relax and unwind after a long day? Cheers from the great state of Kansas.
Yesterday, I had a very long day, a very tough day. Okay. And what I did was, I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I went and I got in a hot tub. And my wife turned on the music, and I got in the hot tub, and I took a nice swim, and I smoked some cigarettes. I had a bottle of water. I was good, Hot tea. I didn't have hot tea in the pool. And hot tea when I go to bed. Before I go to bed, she'll bring me a hot cup of tea. Why? Not coffee, because that'll keep me awake. And in the morning, I get the coffee. So she serves coffee in the morning and hot tea at night. Not bad. Hey, it's part of the plan, the package deal I got. It's inclusive with many other things. What else? You got a caller? Uh-oh. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I have to turn my phone up. So I may have to turn my visual off because I have to get the phone. I can't hear you. I'm on speaker. Let me do that real quick.
Man, you look like that Indian guy from New York.
I'm going to deprive you of my
took all the money. You know the Indian guy I'm talking about in New York that took off with all that money? He was on. I watch American Greed. You don't ever watch
I do have an honest face, they say so.
You look like if we showed him right now, put a picture of him right now, you look just like him.
Well, I have an honest face.
Why? He's in jail. Well, what's up?
But I can't hear you today. Let me just take it off because I got to bring it closer to my face. Okay, that's better. Well, the reason why I'm calling is because
close to that face.
I'm from California and I'd like to move to Florida. Cash out, sell my house.
No, you don't want no more goddamn Californians or New Yorkers coming to Florida.
What's funny is that
you guys are going to ruin it.
Well, you're probably right.
This ain't California.
Well, you know what's funny is my parents were going to move out to New York in the 70s, Florida, pardon me, but they couldn't get far enough away from their parents in New York, just like your parents. They were a bunch of difficult people, so they couldn't get far enough away, so they went to California. You know.
I spent 18 years in California. We are northern or southern? You're southern, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm in Ventura County. I'm in a beautiful place, but I'm very lucky here.
Oh, it's so wonderful in Ventura County. I just can't help it. So, it's wonderful and all that bullshit, but it's still California. All right. So what do you
Well, what I'd like to do is just cash out, take the money out of my house, and come out there and maybe invest in a property. But the thing is, I don't want to really. I'm older, and I'm not any wiser. But I'd like to just maybe look at buying one thing. Maybe something in the middle. Not start with a fourplex. Maybe something a little higher. And I'm just wondering. I've got probably about $1 million cash once I clear out of here.
You got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. And you got to see what the market is. You got to see what's available. You got to go around and understand the market. To find a deal that may make sense for you. But right now, if you're looking for apartments, it ain't going to make that much sense. If you're looking for some kind of commercial property, that could make sense. I don't know what your experience.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of your show. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of your shows, and I'm educating myself. I actually am an estate planning attorney. I'm all scrubby. I haven't shaved in a while, but I have a real estate broker's license but I canceled a long time ago. I only bought and sold homes from
Florida.
myself.
You don't need a license. If you're a lawyer, you need a license. But you're a lawyer licensed in California.
Only California.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Are you practicing now?
I am, but I do estate planning and I do. But I'm looking about maybe doing something a little more national.
Well, estate planning is really big in Florida because this is where everybody retires. So all you got is people worried about their goddamn estates, and there's probably a lot of money to make in estate planning here as an attorney. Especially, I don't know if you get with a firm, you're gonna go on your own, but.
Yeah, the problem is that every person is an attorney, or they know someone who is an attorney, and they, people procrastinate with this.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, out here it's different because they don't have a lot of people relocate out here. Don't know anybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Florida's got. Listen, you got the whole rest of the country all wanting to come to Florida to die. Okay, that's the way it is. That's Florida. Yeah. Because this is like the closest you're going to get to heaven before you die. This is the only country, this is the only state that you can really relax and enjoy your life. I'm sorry to my opinion.
What made you leave California? What made you leave California?
What you should do? Listen, you know what you should do? Seriously, you want my advice on what a smart guy like you could do out here and make a lot of money? You need to look into opening up a 1031 intermediary exchange. That's what you need to do. Okay, because the average person doesn't even know about a 1031. Then when they do know about 1031, they don't know who to go to. Okay, and the title companies do a half-ass job. They don't do a real good job because they're not that smart in it either. And it's not that complicated a process. But the point is, if you can be trusted with that money, I don't know, but holding people's money and helping them through the process of not paying that tax and filing everything properly and all that shit, which ain't much to do, and making sure the contracts are all done right. I mean, I think there's a big opportunity because a lot of people aren't doing 1031.
No, I'll definitely look at
why the banks aren't doing them. I don't have a clue. I've told presidents to do them, and they don't do them. They're nuts because then all that fucking money from the sale in their bank. These goddamn idiots, they're crazy. I should open up a goddamn bank called the 1031 Bank. That's what I should do. Aaron, get on that right away. Well, I would do that. Go online, look up. You don't even require a license. Plus, if you're licensed as a lawyer, you could probably get a license here in Florida. You got to take a test to get a license in Florida, or is it what they call amicable or whatever?
They don't reciprocate. No, they don't.
They don't reciprocate. It's like my wife. No. They don't reciprocate. I give.
So just like my wife. My wife doesn't reciprocate either.
We give. But what do we get?
They give, we take. But what's funny? What's funny is a funny quick story. I knew a 1031 company that actually went out of business and they stole the money. And then the government
told them on American greed. The guy took everybody's money. He went out and bought big yachts and he bought fancy houses and Rolex watches. The guy was nuts.
The best part was the IRS told the best part is the IRS told the people, listen, you still got to pay your tax, even though they took the money. You're on the hook.
When they can prove there's a crime involved, you get a good lawyer that knows the IRS, and he can help you fight it. If you can prove that, if that person got criminally prosecuted, there's ways that I'm sure a good lawyer can make that shit drag on forever, or not have to pay on it. But hopefully I'll never be in that situation. But yeah, think about the 1031 deal and open up a practice, open up your own spot here.
Okay. Thank you. I'll look
All
into it. It was good talking to you. Have a good rest of the day.
All right. Take care. Good luck,
Take care.
counselor.
Thank you.
Getting a lot of lawyers tonight. Wasn't the other guy a lawyer?
Yep. The super chat.
Super chat lawyer. All right. We're not Morgan and Morgan. We're Mallah and Mallah. All right. There actually is a lawyer named Mallah. He must be a relative, but I don't talk to him. What do you got, Aaron?
All right. Shout out Mr. Tut. Thank you for the $9.99. I have a house in New York that I rent out, and it covers my mortgage payment there and for my second home in Florida. How do I purchase a third home without my DTI affecting me?
A third home. Is he already renting out these houses or what? What do you say?
He's renting out a house in New York.
He's renting,
and it covers the mortgage payment.
Yeah, and it covers the mortgage. Okay,
for the Florida house.
For the Florida,
but he wants to buy a third home without affecting his DTI.
His DTI. I have to do a credit. Anyway, I don't know. DTI, debt to ratio something. Okay, so the point is this: why is he buying a house? If you're buying a house to live in, your personal residence. You buy it for your personal residence,
that's income ratio,
and then you put down whatever they want you to put down. Otherwise, anybody in the world could buy a house with 20% down, easy qualifier. Why don't you just go out and buy a house? If you're going to rent it out, then the income from the house is going to qualify for the house purchase. I mean, if you're doing it for personal, if you got income coming from a property, then you should have no problems qualifying to buy whatever the hell you want at 20% down. And if what you're buying's got income, that's going to qualify for you. So I don't know. Maybe you want to do a consult with Ben. Get me on the phone and we'll talk in more detail. What else you
got? Shout out Mick Teresi. Thank you for the $10. Hey Ben, what cap rates are you guys aiming for in the next 12 months in multifamily / mixed use? Also, how much in assets did you have before a bank was able to do interest only loans?
All right. Well, number one, I'm looking for the best cap rate I can find. But we look at deals a little differently. We look at the cap rate, but we look at, is there any opportunity for us to increase that cap rate by applying some real estate skills? Okay. Can we do something to make this place make more money? Me and Ben Jr. walked, and Aaron and Paulie, and who else? And Tony, you go ahead.
Julio.
We all walked, Julio. We all walked.
I did.
At least, and Rafal was there watching us. We walked. How many stores were in that place? 25 stores?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. We looked at the place. We looked it around. We saw opportunity there. Is the cap rate low? We're buying that? Yes. But once we fill up the vacancies and once we maybe convert some office space to apartments or get them rented, we'll get more income coming in. So, you got to look at more than just the cap rate. But cap rates are going up right now because money costs more to borrow. You're not going to get the same return if you're paying double interest, which I am now paying double interest. The rate used to be the index rate for LIBOR and was zero pretty much. So like 0.05, 0.7, 0.8 was nothing. And then the bank tack on a 1.5, a couple of points on top of that. I was floating hundreds of millions of dollars in the twos, baby. Less than the twos. Okay. In fact, I screwed up. I'm not afraid to tell the truth. I screwed up. I got out of 3% fixed loans back then, thinking I was an idiot for paying 3% when I could pay 2% on one, a quarter or 3/4. And now here we are. I wish I had the 3% fixed. It's the life. It's the market. So anyway, the point is, look at the cap rate, but look for properties that have some way to increase the value in them or income in them, but cap rates should be in the 6s to just make some kind of return on it. I wouldn't get involved with the responsibility of buying a property unless it's give me at least a 6 cap, because once it's financed, it'll be about 10 or 11, providing interest rates don't go up any higher. The second question was,
how much in assets did you have before a bank was able to do?
I mean, once you got enough, listen, this is what the banks like to see. The banks want to see people, they want to loan money to people that don't need it. Can I buy $100 million maybe of my own if I wanted to be my own bank? Yeah. Well, that means I'm no risk. Okay. If you go out and apply for a $5 million loan and you're worth $5 million liquid, then you're no risk to the bank. Because if you get in trouble, you got enough money to pay them off. You're no risk. That's the way it works. When you show the bank that you're no risk anymore to them, you're basically doing them a favor by borrowing their money. Okay, I'm serious. I tell the bank in a minute. The bank acts up with me. I say, listen, I don't want to waste my time. You guys can't work with me. I interview banks all the time. They all beg me, oh, yeah, we want to loan you money. We want to loan you money. Bullshit. You don't want to loan me money. Yeah, sit down at the table and let me tell you if you want to loan me money. Okay, when they start giving me all these stupid interest rates and terms and all this bullshit, I say, listen, you don't want me, okay? Because I'm doing you a favor by borrowing your money. Why? Because I don't need it. Okay? That's the people of the banks love. People that they don't have no risk. They're going to give me everything I want, the best deal they can, as long as they make enough money to operate the bank. That's the way it works once you make it that way. So if you want to borrow $5 million and get the best terms of your life, you better show the bank $5 million that you're worth. Okay, what else?
Shout out Lukens. Do we find the deal now or wait till price is correct at the bottom of this recession?
Who knows where the bottom is?
And
okay?
he says, how do we know it's the bottom?
Things go up, things go down. There's always a bottom property out there. Just look for a deal. If the deal makes sense today, it'll make sense in a year from now or more sense. Okay? But, you know, what you might want to consider is when you buy a deal, because of the interest rate scare right now and the recessions and all this crap, you might want to fix your rate, okay? If you want to sleep at night. Then your cash flow is your cash flow, no matter what the fuck's going on, because every month, this is how much you collect, this is how much you got to pay the bank, and your taxes, insurance, and blah, 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 blah. Your income's not going to change. So, you know, real estate is pretty safe if you put in all the safety precautions and you buy the right deal. So I don't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait around for something to happen. I got to get out there constantly, look for something to happen. I'm not going to buy nothing stupid, but I'm always going to be looking. I can't wait around for something. Are we online? Are we on the air? Or we waste our time? All right, what else?
Delio Diaz, thank you for the $9.99. I just inherited a 2/2 condo in the town country area of Tampa with 40 grand saved, and I have a bankruptcy. What do you recommend my next step should be to go from here?
Listen, if you got a bankruptcy, you know, now you're going down a long road of a lot of discussion and questions that I'd have for you. How long did you have the bankruptcy? Have you talked to anybody that specializes in getting that thing to go bye-bye? I think it's 7 years. I'm not sure. But, you know, the bankruptcy, you really want to put a bankruptcy away, you know, because otherwise you will find people that loan you money if the bankruptcy is a few years old. The problem is they're going to try to screw you on the interest rate. All right. I hope the condo that you inherited, you know, doesn't have any, you know, debt on it. That would be great. 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in country area. It's real town and country. It's probably worth at least a couple $100,000, I think. So anyway, go to Ben Mallah Console, Ben. Maybe we could find some, you know, serious talk to somebody for you and see, you know, what's it going to take you to borrow money or leverage that condo you got. You know, maybe you can pull some money out of the condo. Are you going to live in it? Are you going to rent it out? These are things that me and you can have a conversation for at least 15 minutes on. So get me on the phone and let's talk serious because, you know, I feel bad if you have a bankruptcy because it kind of stops you from growing. So, you know, give me a call and see what we can do.
Bankruptcy lasts from 7 to 10 years.
There you go. Well, I don't know. It depends on the state. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff involved when you get bankruptcy. I really wish people should do everything they can to not have to file bankruptcy. A lot of people, they think it's their way out, but it stops you from growing for many, many years. So a lot of times you don't have to go bankrupt. You can make deals, baby. Make deals. They got experts out there that know how to make deals. Credit repair companies, all kinds of shit.
Ben, we got a caller.
We have a caller. What's up? Are you driving and physically driving right now?
I'm door dashing.
You're door dashing,
man. I love your channel, man.
DoorDash. Where are you door dashing at? What state?
South Dakota.
South Dakota? They got DoorDash in South Dakota?
Hell yeah.
What are you delivering right now? From what restaurant?
I just got done with Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah.
All right. Pizza Hut's pretty good. All right. So what's up? You better not get in a fucking accident and then they sue me. Okay. What do you got?
Hey man, just wanted to say I've been listening, learning real estate now over podcasts and stuff for the past year and past 6 months while I've been door dashing your channel in particular, and I've been looking forward to it every time I go door dashing. So that's pretty awesome.
DoorDash entertainment. Is that what I am to you? Don't look at me. Keep your eyes on the goddamn road.
I'm pulling over here soon. You just wait.
I hope you get a big tip.
$12 on the last one.
Very good. Very good. All right. What else? Anything else? Door dasher.
So
just make sure you're a door dasher, not a door flasher.
So I hear you always say if you want to get into real estate, especially at a young age as myself, you recommend becoming a real estate agent. What do you think the differences are? Hello?
Yeah, I'm
Can you
listening.
hear me?
I'm thinking of
Okay.
water.
What do you
All
think
right.
is there any differences or pros and cons between real estate agent and property management? I know you started with
I
property
mean, they're
management and
totally
that took
different.
you.
All right, they're totally
Okay.
different. Okay.
Right.
Typically, when you go down one road or you go down the other road, I went down the property management road. Okay. So but either way, it's going to lead you to a career in real estate, and then you turn the career into becoming an owner, like I did. First, I learned how to make other people money. Then I said, well, shit, I know how to make them money. I'll do it my damn self. But, I went down the road of property management. If you want, you can apply for an entry-level position. Don't cry about not making any goddamn money right now. Keep door dashing. And then, be a leasing agent or somebody like that and get your foot in the door. Because what people don't realize, when you choose a career like that, fine, you're not going to make a lot of money right away. You might take a little bullshit, but that's life. That's your education. You got to put in your time. When I was doing it, I had to go around with a frigging gun everywhere. In the worst dangerous neighborhoods there were, that was the time I had to put in. And he didn't pay me shit. So, but either way, get your license. You look like a clean-cut guy. Go get your license, put a fucking suit on, and go work in a big shot office. And see if you can latch on to people making big money, and then you'll be making big money. Or go to apply for a property management company and say, hey, I'm looking for a position, part-time if you want to start. I don't know, and learn how to lease apartments out.
Okay. You say go to the biggest property management or real estate
Airbnb,
company.
your mommy's house. Huh?
Do you usually recommend going to the biggest company, whether it's real estate agent or property management? What
Start
you
with
went
the fucking top. Always try to start at the top, okay? And then
Why not?
this way, because then if the door opens for you at the top, you're in the click, baby. Otherwise you start at the bottom. You got to maybe go through a lot of steps to get there. But if you can start at the top, that's where the money's flowing. The money's flowing at the top. The guy that's selling the $1 million houses, if you get your license, the guy you want to work for, not the guy that's selling $150,000 houses, because the commissions are 10 times. And you're around people making big money. And, if you can get in with people making money, you'll make money. That's the way humans work.
You started with a single guy, though. Do you recommend maybe trying to find a single real estate investor like that, or was that just really
Listen,
luck on
I
your
started on stopping fucking toilets, okay, and picking up garbage. All right.
Okay.
And trust me, you get your experience with real companies, corporate companies, people that have a reputation, and that'll look great on your resume on top of that. So, I started in the hood because, that's all I had access to, and I started part-time while I was in the Army. So you need to, either get your license and watch the fucking real estate course instead of me while you're driving DoorDash, and watch that course and get your license and watch me after you get your license. And then, go that route. You can do both. How old are you? 20, 19?
19, right on.
19, you can do everything. You only need 6 hours of sleep a night, the Army said. Do them both. Try to apply yourself in a management company, a big fancy apartment building, see if they're hiring for leasing agent, or go online. Where you at, South Dakota?
South Dakota.
All right, go online tonight when you're done dashing and look up what the requirements are for the state of South Dakota's Department of Real Estate. Go to their website and find out what it takes to get a license. Probably only one course and one test. I bet you that's all it is. Every state's the same.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, I've also got a car.
The pizza's getting cold, goddammit. If you serve me a fucking cold pizza, I'd see no fucking tip for you, mother.
Already delivered it. I'm on pause.
I already delivered it.
Yeah.
What do they do? Take it out of your fucking trunk? It's that no touch, no feel type DoorDash delivery. You don't even have the goddamn car?
No, South Dakota's different. I'm in my handy Honda Fit, though.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Man.
But try it all. What?
Okay,
what?
One more thing. So you say that you renovate your property using the cash flow from the. So say it's an apartment building. If you have tenants living in it, how do you use that cash flow and renovate it while they're there?
Well, the point is every deal's different. All right. If I walk into a building that's 100% full, okay, there's not much I can do except when the tenant's time to renew their lease, I can go to the tenant and say, hey, listen, I'm going to raise your rent, but I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing to the place. Okay. So you have to wait till the lease is up a lot of times if it's 100% occupied. If it's not 100% occupied, you can start making improvements on the vacancies. You can always make improvements on the exterior of the property. You can always work on the amenities. There's a lot of things you can do. Every deal is different. You do whatever you possibly can do to make the place more valuable and look better, run better, and make more money.
Okay.
All right, Dash, man, Dash.
All right, man. You guys have a good one. Appreciate it, Aaron. You too.
How many miles to the gallon does your car get?
30 miles per gallon.
What is it?
Honda Fit.
A Honda Fit?
09 Honda Fit, baby.
A Fit?
$3,600. Yeah, Honda Fit.
FIT?
Yeah.
I don't fit in it. All right, well, good luck. Maybe I'll go look at write that down, Aaron. We're going to buy you a Honda Fit when you get your license.
No. How tall are you?
How tall are you? Who cares?
Oh my God! Rafal.
You put the front seat all the way back. You can fit in any car. I'll get your ass in a smart car.
I got a question. How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", 5'10".
I'm
so
6'3".
You put the seat all the way back, and you can fit in any car.
Your head touches the ceiling a little bit.
You're not fat, you can fit in any car. Okay, you're not 7 feet tall. All right, well, dash on, man. Dash on. All
right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, peace out. Pizza out. All right, what else? Anything else?
Shout out Frank. Thank you for the $10. How did you survive the housing market crash in 2008?
I got lucky. Okay, it just so happened right before the market crashed. I already had some people looking at the project. They're buying a big portfolio of all my apartment buildings. They were backed by Hewlett Packard back then, and they couldn't get out, and because I had them hard, or they could have got out and gave up the deposit, but they didn't. And the guy was very aggressive, and he was really good. And he tried real hard to get the money together and his investors and all that. And he bought me out of a big portfolio. Luckily, right when he did that, I mean, I probably would have made more money if I waited till after the crash. But long story short, I got lucky. Okay, I sold the property during the crash, but it was in contract before the crash. And then I had all that money to go out and snatch up all the cheap deals that were because of the crash. Little Ben moved to Texas and took on 1,000+ units there and helped me out a lot. And we were able to close the deal. And Tony Udegaard helped me too. I don't forget him. I don't forget the people that helped me in life. Carla, I'll never forget you. Rafal, did you ever send a link to Ben or Vincent or nothing? I haven't spoke to. Huh? All right.
All right. Shout out Jamie. Thank you for the $10. Would you ever think about going into a distribution delivery service?
Distribution delivery.
Passive 75 to 150K a year to fund real estate portfolio.
No. All right. I got a friend in transportation business, been doing all his life, and he makes really good money. But I don't want to be in any business. All I want to do is collect the rent. It's simple. I give you a place. You do whatever the hell you need to do there. Make money. Live there. I don't care. But as long as it's legal and pay me the rent, my life is complicated enough. Owning these hotels, I don't go near these hotels when it comes to day-to-day operation because it's just too much. I don't want to run a business. I want to buy stuff. I want to rent it out. I want to refinance. I want to buy. I want to sell. That's enough for me to do. I can't run no business worrying about this truck didn't make it to deliver this shit and this truck broke down and all this crap I see what my friend goes through. But you can make money in any business there is if you do it right and there's a demand for your service. But thank you, but no thank you.
All right, shout out Sean.
Maybe I'll get an Amazon truck. Maybe I'll take my Sprinter and make it into an Amazon truck. I'll call it Benazon. And then I'll drive around and tell people, hey, you want me to take this shit over here for you? No, I don't think so. What else?
All right, shout out Sean. Thank you for the $20. My parents are selling their bar business, which is their sole retirement. Should they just cash out, pay Uncle Sam the tax, and bank it, or 1031 the real estate revenue and get a rental property for income?
It depends on what their needs are. And if they're selling the business, the business, I don't know. I guess they can sell the bar. If they own the real estate with the business, their accountant can definitely 1031, but I don't know, because there's a business included. There might be you need to talk to accountant about that, what the taxes are. But I'm all I can tell you is what I've done. I've always 1031 because I'm in fucking real estate. I didn't mean to say F word again. All right, I'm in real estate. 1031 is like a religion to me. Okay, it's my religion. All right, so if they want to buy something for income property and they're sure it's going to make them a good income, it's something they should consider if their accountant's going to tell them they have a big tax bill. So yeah, they should definitely look at the income properties if there's an opportunity that makes sense. And if they can run a bar, real estate is a piece of friggin' cake because I've ran bars before. I didn't even run them. I had other people running. They drove me crazy. So if they can handle a bar, you're selling people liquor, they get drunk, shit's going to happen. Okay, if they can handle that shit, Real estate's a piece of cake or walk in a park to them if they can find a good opportunity. You should always exercise all your options in life. Depends. Find the one that fits your lifestyle and what's good for you. All right. Or tell them to go to consult with Ben. Go to benmallah.com, consult with Ben, /shop, consult with Ben, get Rafal on the phone. He'll make an appointment to talk to me, and we'll talk in detail, numbers down to the dollar of what they can and can't do and want to do and could do.
There we go. All right. Shout out M. Thank you for the $4.99. Trying to get into a franchise business. Thinking about doing cash out refinance to pay for this. Is this a good idea, or what would be a better option?
Listen, if you want to get into a franchise, there's a million franchises. As long as you're picking one that you enjoy and like and have an interest in, don't just pick something because you think it's going to make money. If you're going to buy a franchise, you better go to the franchise school yourself, and you better learn the goddamn franchise. Most guys I know that get into that shit, they start with one, they end up owning a dozen of them. All right, because once you learn how to do it, then you do it, and you do it, and you do it. It's a great thing. I've encouraged people to do it. I own one of the hotels we got are franchises, but you play by their rules, and typically it works because they know what the hell they've been doing because they've been doing it 40 years and they wrote a book on it, and they help you manage it, and they know the good, the bad, and the ugly in the business. So, if you're serious about working that franchise and getting your hands dirty, you may have to make those goddamn Subway sandwiches for the first couple of months. Then you hire kids to do it, and then you got to manage it. It's always best if you're going to own a business, you've been into how to run the business. Okay, don't depend on other people, because the shit will fall apart because they ain't got no interest in it. All they got is a paycheck.
All right. Shout out Caveman Joe. Thank you for the $20. VA pre-approval last year. Couldn't find anything in my price range. Houses are still high, but my credit's up more and I'm expecting a rec payout. How can I get something, even if it's a fixer-upper?
All right, listen.
Tired of renting.
You need to contact the mortgage brokers that do VA loans, or whoever approved you for that VA loan. You need to go back to them and say, listen, how much do I qualify if I buy a fourplex and live in one of the units? That's what you need to ask them, because to my knowledge, and you better verify this, the income from the property helps qualify. It'll overqualify you. Okay? So if you're looking for a single family home, it's based on your income, then you qualify for, and the prices are too high. Look for something that has some income. If you can't find a fourplex, maybe you find a triplex. You can't find a triplex, maybe you find a duplex. But find something, okay? And then you may have to live in it for a year, and that's it. And then maybe you can rent it out after that. But, go back and see if you buy something with an income, will the income qualify you? I believe it does. Well, that's what I would be doing if I was you. Or find a better place with cheaper prices.
We have Mike on the line.
We have Mike on the line. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how we doing?
Fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. Questions regarding triple net leases. From what I'm looking at, the leases that have a lot of years remaining make it tough to add value and raise the rent. But there's a lot of risk if I buy a center that's got only 2 or 3 years left. What's your sweet spot?
I mean, everybody wants a long lease. Typically when you buy a triple net lease, you want a long lease, and it has built-in increases built into the lease. Yeah. So you pretty much can predict the future. For the next 10 years, I'm going to sit back, and this is the rent, and this is the increases I'll get every few years or whatever, and you know what's going to happen. It's like a savings account, But if you're buying something with 2 or 3 years, then you got to be sure you know what the hell you get into. It's all about the tenant. The deal is only as valuable as good as the tenant is, because you're dependent on that tenant who you hope is going to maintain their livelihood there and run a business and pay you the rent, and everybody's going to live happily ever after. That's why it's all about credit and credit worthiness of the tenant and the strength of the tenant. If you go in and it's 2 or 3 years left, you want to know who the tenant is. You want to get a feel for it. Hey, you going anywhere? Hey, how's business going? A lot of them have to report their sales. If they're making money, there's no reason why they would leave. I've never seen a retail shop leave if they were making money. Okay, there's no reason to. If they want to open up another one, go open up another one. But if the place is making money, then you're safe. But know your tenant. Try to find out. Are they going to renew? How about offering an early an early renewal.
No.
That happens a lot. You come in and you say, hey, why don't we extend you out another 5 or 10 years? Let's rewrite the lease. Let's just, renew you early or, and tie them up longer as part of the deal before you buy it. Tell them, listen, I'd like to see the tenant offer a renewal if you only got 2 or 3 years left. I'd like to offer the tenant, if I buy the property, will the tenant sign a 7-year lease or a 10-year lease or a 5-year, whatever,
Yep. Is there a minimum number of units you prefer?
The smaller, the easier to manage with the CAM and stuff like that. When you start getting into big projects, you get a lot of CAM expenses. Me and Ben Jr. were going over the CAM expenses on a shopping center we walked yesterday, and it's a lot. And then you got to split up the expenses amongst everybody. And, but if you don't mind the management part of it, it's really just, you're going to pay more bills and you're going to reconcile everything, at the end of the year. And, it's a little more management involved when, and then if you have a lot of tenants, vacancies could pop up a lot more often too. The chances are you got a 25-unit center versus a 5-unit center. Chances are, you're going to be constantly leasing out too.
Yep. I've seen a few buildings that are banks. Makes me a little nervous because that building's so specialized. You'd almost, not that you'd have to get another bank to go in there.
I've seen a lot of banks convert to other things. The problem with banks are typically, banks are become obsolete. They're closing down their branches everywhere because they don't need them. You could probably count on your 2 hands how many people walk into a fucking bank on a daily basis. Next to nobody. I mean, drive-through maybe. Yeah, I have a feeling that banks are going to shrink down and just be friggin' like real small, but I don't know. Everything's so online. But if the bank's on the hook for the next 5 or 10 years, they're on the hook for that lease, and they can't get out of it if it's corporate signed. But, banks are kind of disappearing, but I have seen a lot of them changing other things. But that change costs money. We had a bank. We took the bank. We split it in half in Tampa. We rented half of it to a smoothie guy who has a drive-through. He used the bank drive-through and turned it into a smoothie place. And then the other half, because the space was too big, we rent to a veterinarian. I mean, you just got to, that's part of the game when you're heavy into retail. You think out of the box. You got to chop places up. You got to reconfigure them. You got to think of what kind of people might work in there. A lot of people are taking over banks now. I'll tell you right now is the goddamn dispensaries. Dispensaries will take over a bank in a minute. It's perfect for them. They can lock up all the weed in the safe.
So if I'm hearing you right, your sweet spot is you kind of want to inherit a tenant with about 7 years, give or take.
I look at everything. It depends on the location. It depends on the tenants. It depends on everything. Every deal to me is different. I might buy a place where they have very short-term leases. I almost did over here, but it was a Winn-Dixie shopping center, big grocer, but it had a bunch of little stores that all had a bunch of little leases on them. And it worried me a little, but I came around, I went around, I got a feel for it. And I figured, well, these necessity places are always going to be needed. Hair, nails, food, things like that, you're always going to need. So, but I missed the deal because I didn't bid enough money on it. But the point is, every deal's different. You got to make sure you feel good about that person staying there. Or sometimes I buy them and hope they leave. Because if they've been here a long time and the rent is half what it could be rented out at, I bought places praying that the people would leave. Because I could double the goddamn rent if they get the hell out of there. So every deal's different, That's what
is it appropriate to ask
very
inappropriate financials to see how business is doing?
Anything inappropriate on our channel. What did you say?
No. Can you ask a broker, hey, can I see some financials of the tenant that's there? Can you see how they're doing?
Some leases, it depends on the lease. Everything's tied to the lease.
Sure.
If the lease requires the tenant to report sales, then you're entitled to it. But if you're not entitled to it, they can say, screw you. I'm not telling you what I make, but you can tell by the amount of traffic he's got. You can tell, if the place is doing well or not. If it's a coffee shop, go there in the morning. How many people you got eating breakfast there? If it's a fucking pizza shop, go there at lunch. See how many people are buying pizzas. I mean, it's all common sense logic. You got to do your detective work. You got to become a detective.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that sums it up for my triple net questions. In other news, I listed my house today. 12 showings. Already got one offer over ask. It's crazy.
Congratulations. Very good. You better hurry because the rates are going up. And right now we're at a 20-year low on mortgage applications. So you take the best fucking deal you can, take the money and run. Because I really don't see prices going anywhere but down. That's just my opinion. Who the hell knows in this crazy world we live in? But I deal everything in my life is logical. The guy that used to qualify for the $1 million house doesn't qualify anymore because the interest rate doubled. All right. He can't borrow as much money. So you better take the money that's still floating around there and snatch it up. And good luck.
This suburb we're in is crazy. People, it's crazy.
Great. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. Adios. What else? Ciao, Bella. What do you got, Aaron? You awake or what? Wake up.
S. Nelson. Thank you for the $5. I made $40K a year working right now. I put 1/4 of my pay into dividends. Do you have any advice on the next steps for investing or real estate?
No. Next caller. All right. So I don't know. He's making 40 grand a year, and he puts 1/4 of his pay away into dividends. What does that mean? Savings or income dividends? That's fine. So, I mean, go out and try to find a deal and see if you can come up with, what you need to buy it. If you're going to move into the real estate, then look for an income property that you can qualify for. The first thing you need to do is find the money. Go get approved. If you're making 40 grand a year, don't hold me responsible. You should be able to borrow in this market still a couple $100,000. Okay? That's what I believe, but interest rates are going up. So that number 200 grand is going down. You need to sit down with the bank. The first step of real estate is get the money. You can't go out shopping without the money. All right. So focus. The most important relationship in your life is with your bank, then your wife. Okay. Because the bank helps you pay for the wife. So focus on the money. Go see what you can get your hands on. How much are you worth? And then tell them, what happens if I buy a fourplex that has income coming in? Does that help me qualify even more? Go FHA if it's your first time, $3,500 for every 100 grand. You got options. You got to just do it. Get qualified and line up the money. Then that'll tell you what you can buy. Okay. Or go to benmallah.com and consult, and I'll tell you the same damn thing. All right.
Shout out Chase Reiner. Thank you for the $99.99.
$99.99. We're having sausage tonight, Polak.
Thank you very much.
Ben, I make over $100K per month selling software and
That's
courses.
$1.2 million a year. And he's selling what?
Software.
Socks?
He's selling software and courses. Do I really need to invest in real estate, or should I just keep investing in what I'm doing?
Listen, always invest. If you can make more money at what you're doing, always take whatever you got and take it to the max. Blow it up as much as you can. I don't care if you're selling toilet seats, or making toilet seats. Whatever you're doing, always, whatever you know how to do already, blow it up as big as you can, okay? Because you already know what the fuck you're doing. So, and then real estate's a good way for people that feel like they have a job, they have a career, they're at the height of their career, they want to make extra income, they want to diversify, get around stocks and bonds and all that, and they go into real estate on the side. Some people do it full time, but what's right for you is blow your business up as much as you can. Then if you want to dib and dab in real estate, try out something small, try a duplex out, try something like that. I don't know. Or, if it has to do with, I don't know, software really has nothing to do with real estate that much anymore. Unless you go, I got a great place. If you know anybody that needs, I'm talking, this shopping center we're buying, somebody did a major friggin' tech build out in some of this office space. So if anybody out there wants to go to a fantastic neighborhood in Tampa and have the latest tech office space, anywhere from a couple of thousand to 7,000 or 8,000 square feet. I mean, I got the furniture, I got all the cubicles, I got the glass boxes, we got everything. These places look great, didn't they?
Yeah, what place? I was listening.
We went to look at those offices in that shopping center on the second floor. It was all teched out. You remember?
Oh, you mean a West Chase?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
those really nice.
Anyway,
those could
you can rent to a software people or something like that.
If we could find it. You know what? We could also turn them into apartments.
Ooh, apartments.
Lofts.
Yeah. All right. So, listen, take the money and keep making as much money as you can what you're doing already. Then worry about doing something else.
All right, great. Shout out Saul Merritt. Thank you for the $4.99. Yo, Ben, keep the boat over here on the West Coast, brother.
West Coast. Let me tell you, I don't want to talk about the goddamn boat. I drove the boat with a little help from Aaron.
I drove the boat.
He drove the boat while Captain Tappan took a nap. He had it on automatic pilot most of the way. We went from Fort Lauderdale. We took about 4 or 5 hours and went to Marathon. Marathon is in the middle of the Keys. That's an opening there. That's where you can cross into the Gulf of Mexico.
In a big boat.
And it's about 80 foot if you measure it. All right. But you got to watch the shallowness in certain areas. We took it over to Marathon, the Keys. Then we woke up the next morning. You got up and we drove it another, 250 miles?
It was about
all
10
the way
hours.
to Clearwater.
10 hours from
10-hour
Marathon
trip.
to Clearwater.
Yeah, we cruised about 25 miles an hour and 250 miles, 10 hours. Wasn't a bad trip. We went around the Everglades, and we passed by all these other cities, Fort Myers, Naples, Sarasota, and then we got to Clearwater. So the boat is on the West Coast, to answer your question. It's just the West Coast.
West Coast of Florida.
West Coast of Florida.
We have a caller.
We have a caller. You leaving, Aaron? Adios. With your rainbow sweatshirt from Switzerland. All right, what do we got? Mike again? Another Mike?
Little Mike.
Ben. One night. What's up, Mike?
How are you, my man?
Fine. How are you? Where you at the racetrack?
I'm in Boca, not too far.
Boca! You're in Boca!
Hey, Ben, it's a pleasure.
Mouth.
Listen, it's a pleasure to speak with you. I mean it sincerely. I've been watching you for a long time. I'm 44. I'm a dad. I got 3 kids, a little bit behind you. And I just want to give you a shout out first. Sincerely. Been watching you for a while. And I love a few things about you that I wanted to share. Is that all right?
Okay, Boca. Let's hear it. What are you in the dark? You look kind of freaky and creepy in the dark there.
I'm on the patio. Look.
Oh, he's on a patio in Boca. Look at the swimming pool behind him.
I'm chilling.
He's chilling in Boca Raton.
No, but sincerely, Ben, I just want to share a few nice thoughts. Honestly, I've watched you for a long time. The first thing I want to say is I absolutely love the way that you were able to integrate your family into your life, your business life, etc. That is much harder to do in the real world than people think.
Well, because we all had no choice. We all had to play together because that was our only option to make it.
Listen, I got my 3 kids. We play together too. It's not as easy said and done. It's very telling on the relationship that you guys have built. I mean,
you got to threaten your kids. You got to threaten them.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
Well, you're from Boca. It's a whole different world in Boca.
Now, listen, anyway, I'm giving you a shout. I mean it 100%.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Aaron, sit your ass down. Where the hell you been?
Listen, my
you won't talk to your kids like that in Boca, do you?
Listen, I'm originally from Miami, but my
Miami.
Son, yes, sir. My son is 14. He's the middle one, and he's gotten really interested in investing, etc. I share some of your stuff, so it's just really cool. Believe it, I'm a financial advisor, so I'm in finance. It's very cool to see what you're doing. I'm just giving you a shout.
Well, do you sit down and do you show your son how to trade stocks?
No, actually, I started off teaching a little real estate because it's easier to grasp the concepts, and then we start moving over. But that's actually why I'm calling.
Kids like stocks. It's like gambling. Okay.
No, listen,
if they think this, it's like playing a game, so it really interests them. You sit down with your TD Ameritrade account like I do and talk about a stock and look at the history and see what you can make. Kids like that shit because it's an easy way of making money, and all kids want to make money easy these days.
Ben, I love you, man. Listen to me. That's exactly why I'm calling. Look, I'm a financial advisor. I'm also, I've been a lifetime value investor from the Buffett kind of school of investing, etc. I wanted to give you 2 thoughts. That's my whole purpose for calling, because I've been listening to you on the stock stuff forever. You're getting near retirement, etc. And here's what I love. The way that you were self-made, all right? And the way that you had to really the way that you simplify your investment analysis when it comes to your real estate stuff is actually gold. And it can only happen from somebody. It can only happen from somebody that learns it from doing from the ground up, just as you have. So I just want to share, number one, I love that about you. And actually, when you talk to Warren Buffett, for example, about stocks, he looks at stuff the same way you look at real estate. All right? You know that you know what you're doing when you can simplify.
Because we're both old farts that have been doing this shit for 40 years. Well,
exactly. So here's my 2 cents for you. So I want to flip a couple thoughts on you. And this was my purpose.
Come on, you're taking up too much time. I can't sit all night. Let's go,
all
right.
All right, here you go, Ben. So
and your mic is screwed up.
Check this out. Would you buy any property where you checked out your cash on cash turn and the number was 1%? Would you do that?
No.
Simple.
Depends.
So check this out.
I bought properties with negative cash flow. Okay? It depends in real estate. It depends on what the hell I'm going to do and what the potential is of the property. I bought empty buildings before. I bought condemned buildings. Nope, negative. So what are you getting at?
Understood 100%. I'm just trying to relate this to the way you guys are checking out your stocks, because I kind of approach that stuff the way you do real estate. I'm going to give you a super quick example, and then you can bump me off the call. This is all I wanted to do.
Hurry up before we bump you, Boca.
Oh, man, come on. I love you. Check
Boca.
this out. If you look at any of the stocks you're looking at, throw the mumbo jumbo from your advisors, all that crap out the window. I'm going to relate it right to real estate. I pulled up your AMD. Check this out. Check this out. I pulled up your...
We bumped him? All right. You know, he needs to go to benmallah.com/shop if he wants to chew my goddamn ear off for 15 minutes. I got a lot of people. How many people listening right now? How many people we got? How many?
1,500.
That's it? 1,500? We should have 15,000. Anyway, you know, I got to have respect for the other 1,499 people. But call me on benmallah.com. What do you got, Aaron?
Shout out Michael Kalish. Thank you for the $9.99. Shout out Vladimir. Thank you for the $3. Ben, where do I learn everything about real estate?
Where?
Right here.
Everywhere. Everywhere is real estate. Everywhere you look is real estate. I mean, come on, you know, take a course, learn the basics, principles of real estate, get a license, study for a test. I mean, you can do that. Get some money, go to the bank, find out how much they'll loan you, go find a real estate agent. There's a million things you can do to get into real estate, but you got to do it. You go to any real estate office in your world, say, hey, print me out all the fourplexes in the neighborhood. Then find out if the bank's going to loan you the goddamn money and you got the down payment and the numbers make sense. I mean, you know, it's everywhere. Real estate is everywhere. There's a ton of things you can do. You just got to do it. First, find the money. See how much you're worth. What else you got, Aaron?
Shout out, May. Thank you for the $20. 6-unit retail, fully occupied, triple net, 5-year leases with 3% escalation. 7.8 cap rate, great area near Walmart and Fresh Market in Illinois.
Illinois. Everything was sounding so good until you got to Illinois.
Do you want to partner?
No. Okay. It sounds like a great deal. If I lived in Illinois, maybe I would, you know, but I don't live in Illinois and I don't know Illinois. I just know a bunch of noise. I don't know about Illinois. So, you know, it sounds like you need to find somebody. It sounds like a really good, stable deal. You know, once it's financed right, it would have a great return. But it's not for us. It's too small. It's too far away. And I don't trust Illinois. Why? Because I have reason to. Because they always screw up the goddamn business of the state to where their bonds get devalued. I judge states by their value. And there's people that are out there that specialize in looking at their budgets and giving them a stamp of their AA, AAA, negative B, and all that shit. Illinois and Ohio and Puerto Rico. Those bonds went down. So they're now no longer friends of mine. All right, what else you got?
Shout out Jeffrey Aldridge. Thank you for the $4.99. Ben, how was your experience with Meet Kevin when he came to visit you guys?
I was very happy the day he left. No, I'm just kidding. Kevin's a great guy. You know, what Kevin does is, let me tell you, you know, what these younger guys do is they actually put a lot of time and effort in learning to, you know, to share with the world. You know, these guys don't just sit around and pull shit out of their ass like I do. These guys actually study and see what's going on in the world. They have an opinion. And if you like their opinion, listen to them. And, you know, it's about educating people. It's about investing, you know, but, you know, that's what they do. They're motivators. Let me tell you, if people listen to him and it motivates them to get off their ass and do something to better their life, then it's great. And Kevin was cool. He was a handful. I'm not going to kid you. You know, it's funny when I look at him on Instagram, I see all these pictures, nice family. He has a beautiful family. But take him away from that family, he ain't the same Meet Kevin. I met a different Kevin than the one I'm seeing pictures of. That guy, he's a lot of fun. He's a great guy. A lot of energy. I've never seen somebody with so much energy before. But I'm still fixing up the room he stayed in. I'm just kidding. All right, what else?
Shout out Jason Rose. Thank you for the $5. Ben, the world is crazy. What's your plan if everything hits the fan? Global crash, worst case scenario, no food in grocery stores.
The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky ain't falling. You got a bunch of cuckoos in the world. Things are a little crazy right now. I know I went to the store. I couldn't believe the prices of fucking food in the store. It's ridiculous. And but let me tell you something. Everything is up and down. 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. I can't even see what's going on in Ukraine anymore. It's supposed to be a war going on, but they're not showing it. It seems like things die and new things come on. We have good times, bad times. You just got to roll with the fucking punches. That's all you can do in life. Just roll with the flow. And that's all you can do.
All right, shout out Leah's T. Thank you for the $10. Ben, I have a mixed-use property, retail store at the bottom and apartment on top. Store doesn't make enough money because the small town doesn't want growth. Should I sell or hold in hopes that area returns? I
mean, if you feel like it's going to return and grow, but listen, my friend dragged me down to some hillbilly town down here. He wanted to put a resort in with RVs and boats and all this stuff. The town didn't want it. And they kind of had reasons why they didn't want it, because they felt like they didn't have the infrastructure, to support it. And so, it's all about location. Location. You got to be in a location that's going to grow. If you're not happy with the return you're getting and you get a whole lump of cash by selling it, maybe 1031 to something that has more, you got to see what your options are. If you did sell it, how much profit are you going to get? If you 1031, what else can you buy? If you don't 1031, how much tax you got to pay? I mean, it depends on what you want to do, but sitting around with the same old place, not doing well. And what it's like, you already know what your future is. If you're not happy with that, then create your future, make a move. The only way you get ahead in life is making moves. Every day I'm out here trying to make different moves. Okay. Would it be a house? Would it be this? Would it be that? We're making moves to try to keep getting up the ladder more and more. And sometimes the steps get a little slippery and I slip and I get back down another step and, but I haven't bust my ass. Well, I have physically. Well, my wife pushed me down the stairs once, but, I still haven't recovered. I got to see where it hurts still on my back. Anyway, that's the story. Listen, if you're not happy and you don't see any growth, move on and find some growth, or maybe refinance and get some money and keep the place and still do something. I don't know. Go to benmallah.com/shop. Let's talk numbers, real numbers. Hey, who's that?
It's Kevin. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kevin.
Excellent. Ben, longtime follower. Thank you for putting out such great content. Really curious. Fairly wealthy guy. We sold our corporation for $7 billion.
$7 billion?
$7 billion. Now,
how many people split it?
I was the CFO, so I only got a small piece of it, but I still made out okay. Okay.
Well, you got something that's great. Are you a billionaire?
No way. But I do own my house outright. I live in California. I make about $1 million and a half a year in interest, dividends, and all that. But I have a Chinese wife who likes to spend. So I'm thinking about real estate.
Tell her to buy Chinese stuff only. Only buy it if it's made in China, you tell her. You want a Gucci? Go to Chinatown and buy a Poochie. If it ain't made in China, tell her she can't buy it. It's not right.
So I'm thinking about buying an insurance agency. What do you think about that?
I'm not an expert in insurance, but I can tell you, listen, if you know a business and there's a demand for that business, okay, if you've been a CFO of a company that sold for $7 billion, you probably run a business with your hands tied behind your back. I mean, insurance is great, certain types of insurance, because typically once you rope that sucker in, every year he's going to renew and you're going to get commission for doing nothing. I got the same agent for 20 years. He's made, I don't know what his commission is. His commission could be $100,000, $200,000 a year. Imagine how much money he's made off of me for 20 years, and he ain't done shit but renew my policy. And once in a while, I'll get a claim if I maybe, and he'll have to work a little. But, if you know the business and the numbers work, and there's a demand there to grow the business, it's great.
Yeah. Well, this agency has a 93% retention rate. So, as you said, people sign on, they sign on for life.
It's not the car insurance that Shaq does, is it?
No. Allstate.
Allstate. Well, there's Allstate places everywhere. They pop up at shopping centers. They're everywhere. It's great because, it's a place where people still can go, and actually talk to an agent face to face. That's what I like about Allstate, even though I don't use them. But if I was the average person and I saw an Allstate office in a goddamn shopping center and I needed insurance, I'd definitely go talk to them because, there's that online shit becomes fucking, it becomes kind of uncomfortable when you're dealing with insurance and stuff like that. But, it's a franchise then, right?
Right. Right.
Well, try it. If you feel like, you're going to put that money in risk, you're going to get your own hands dirty and run it, right?
Sure.
Well, a smart guy like you can do anything. So it doesn't matter. If you're going to get your hands dirty, I'm sure you'll be successful. And you hire agents. And next thing you know, you're sitting back making money off of them.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. You think that's a decent alternative to real estate, or should you just
You'll always need insurance? Everybody needs insurance.
Yeah,
If you build up your client base, you got a client base that's going to be giving you a residual income for who knows how many years to come. I mean, if you like that business. I know guys in the insurance business, they love it. And they make a ton of money, but they get their hands dirty. They're in it to win it. But real estate, if you like real estate, you try some real estate. With the kind of money you got, you can do both. I don't know, I mean, you might want to stick to retail. Retail is very big right now. Necessity retail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I should. Office, you have a nail shop, your Chinese nail shop. No, it's not Chinese. Who does the nail shops?
Vietnamese.
Oh, I speak Chinese. There you go. You got the nail shop, you got the hair shop, you got the Allstate place, you got the Subway sandwiches, necessity stuff. Go into retail if you want. Try to look for a decent deal in the center somewhere.
Yep. I'm also thinking about buying multiple and consolidating, right? Because scale means everything. So
listen, diversify, do whatever you feel is a good investment. All right. You're a smart guy, numbers, if it looks like a good deal and it's something you can grow on, then do it. Start small and grow. Maybe open up one office. You're talking about opening up an all-state office, right? A physical location.
Yeah. No, buying and existing.
Well, make sure the books are right. It's all about how much, you're buying his book basically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, there you go. So if the numbers make sense, they make sense. I'm sure he's going to turn over his tax returns, aren't he?
Sure.
Well, most people don't lie in the tax returns. I mean, honestly, no real business person lies in tax returns, and that's it. So it's just a decision you got to make based on, the economics of it. And you can handle it. Do you need a license to do that?
No. But what's interesting is I did take a look, and they have something called SDC, Seller's Discretionary Cash. And they want to add that back to NOI. So I thought that was
seller's discretionary cash.
Yeah.
Is that money that he took in or money he put out?
Money he took in that he uses on a discretionary basis, right? Pays for automobiles, gas, all that stuff.
I mean, I don't know. You better ask a business consultant, or you should know yourself. But I'm not a business person. I'm a real estate guy, so I don't really know all those little tricks. I just learned what the hell EBIT was. When I was dealing with some shit. Earnings before interest, taxes
and depreciation
and amortization.
Yep, you got it.
It's all about, that's a business type stuff. But you're a smart guy, you're a CEO or CFO, then you should be able to pick his ass apart and make sure that you verify that the money he's telling you he made. And the expenses are the expenses. It's all business. Real estate's business, money in, money out. But
exactly.
Licensing and insurance, I don't know about you having agents. I don't know about this shit.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Keep on putting out that great content, huh?
All right. I'm gonna cramp on my leg. Oh shit.
I'll rub it.
Oh my God, it hurts. All right. Hopefully it's gonna go away. You never know with cramps when they're gonna go away. Sometimes they last a long time, and sometimes they don't. Oh shit. I gotta stretch it. Will that help? I don't know, but I'm in pain.
Drink some water.
How the hell is water going to help with cramp?
It helps.
I'm not a woman, okay? It's not that type of cramp. All right. Even with a fucking cramp, I'm going to do this. What do you got, Aaron?
All right. So let's see. Shout out Mick Tressi. Thank you for the $10. Thank you for the previous response, Ben. My next question is, how long did it take you for your mentor to trust you to give your equity in an acquisition without you putting any of your own money?
I mean, I worked for him for a couple of years, a few years. And then, I proved to him I knew what the hell I was doing. I didn't need him anymore. When you can relieve people from responsibility, that's when they know they can trust you. Okay. He was jet sitting around the world like a big shot. And I was in the hood running all the Section 8 apartments, and then it got to the point where I had pretty much threatened him, say, you know what? I'm not going nowhere with you, so I'm adios. And as soon as I said that, then he made me a partner. You got to get people in the palm of your hand, and makes them when they feel like if you weren't in their life and you weren't working for them, their life would be a lot more difficult. That's why I put up with all little Ben shit, and that's it. What else? Nothing else?
Yeah. All right.
What time is it?
Shout
It's
out.
8:49 already? Holy macaroni. What else?
All right, Nathaniel. Thank you for the $9.99. Ben, can I work with you? I'm 18.
No. Go find a job. I mean, listen, I'm not hiring. I'm not a big company. You got to do for yourself. You don't need, you got to find somebody that does need you and, find somewhere where you'll have a home and a future, whether it's getting your license or going to college or, picking a career. If you want to be in real estate, then go start at the bottom in real estate like I did. That's what I did. I started at the bottom. Maybe your bottom won't be as low as mine. All right, what's up? This guy looks dangerous.
How you doing, Ben?
Fine. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, quick question. So 3 properties we're using the HELOCs on them to purchase a 7-Eleven. What do you think is a proper way to get money out of that purchase of a business?
Businesses, lending on a business is totally different than real estate. If you're talking about getting a loan on this 7-Eleven, how many Slurpee machines you got?
How many what?
Slurpee machines.
It has a whole section of it.
A whole section of Slurpees.
You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I mean? Like they walk in there, they grab the damn cup, and they fucking do this shit.
But that's where the money's at. The money's in. You're not selling gas, are you? You selling gas? You got gas. The money's in the convenience store. Like you heard of Wawa, right?
Right.
You walk into a Wawa, man, it's like, wow, they got every fucking thing here. But, listen, you have a relationship with a bank. You need to go to a business bank. You're going to want to see, what the hell you're doing. Where's the money? How much you're making? How much you're spending? It's all about having a relationship with a bank. All right? You need to find that level of bank that likes people like you to have a 7-Eleven. What state are you in?
I'm in Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, with all the momos, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know anything about Utah, but I know Valley Bank I deal with. They deal with a lot of businesses. What are you, riding a bike while we're talking?
No, I'm at my store.
He's in the store.
Yeah, I own a cell phone shop.
Don't be stealing while you're talking to me, goddammit. But,
no. This is a store.
It's all about relationship. You need to build a relationship with a bank, and sometimes you got to shop around. You might go to 4 or 5 different banks, and they may say, "No, it's not for us, not for us." You need to try to find a bank that specializes in the mid-commercial level that you're on and see what kind of loan they want to give you. Basically, banks are simple. You walk in, you lay all your goddamn cards on the table. You show them who the hell you are, what you got. They run your credit. You show them your tax returns. You show them anything you got in the bank. You show them where your equity is. You show them your liabilities, and they determine how much of a risk you are. Okay? They look at how much income is coming out of your business, and they see who you are, and they're going to put a number on you. They're going to put a number on how much money they're going to give you based on what you're worth, what the business is worth. They're going to want to tie your ass up. How much money will they give you? And they're going to tie you up for it. Just got to go to the bank and ask, Or
I got you, man.
SBA. I don't know for sure. You might want to go SBA. I'm not sure.
They won't do it. They won't do it. I already looked into it. They won't do it at all.
Right. I don't know business. That's the thing. I rent the businesses, but I don't own a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
When I take loans on my hotels, it's like borrowing against real estate.
So that's what I've done with that's what me and my family are doing it with 3 different houses.
Very good.
So each property, is worth X, whatever that is. We're taking all the money out. Monday, this coming Monday, we're going to be paying for that 7-Eleven. So I'm trying to think of a way to get all the money back out of the 7-Eleven. So
are you buying the building? Are you buying the building? When
no, that's the fucked up part. No, I'm not.
Because that would make your life a lot easier.
Yeah,
okay, if you're buying the building, then they can attack against that real estate and the business, and that makes the bank happier that they got more meat to get into. But the problem is you're just buying the 7-Eleven. You got a history of what the place has been making?
1.6 a year.
All right. Well, I would think they're going to want to see you season it somewhat and continue to make the revenue it's been making. But it ain't going to hurt you to go with the previous income and expenses of the business, go to a bank, lay everything on the table, and see if they can give you a loan. They may say, no, we're not going to give you a loan right now, but come back in 6 months. They're going
that's kind of what I was thinking too as well. Like 90 days to 6 months.
The beauty I always had about dealing with banks when I was young was the bank will tell me why they don't want to give me the money, and what I got to do to get the money. That was easy. You tell me what I got to fucking do, I go do. You know, you tell me what to do, I do it. And then
that's what we've done so far.
Well, go to the bank, start talking to business banks. You know, middle level business banks that loan to businesses. They understand.
You said Valley, right? Valley Bank.
I go to Valley. I don't know if they're in Utah, but they're everywhere. But or go online, look up banks that loan to franchises. Yeah. A lot of banks. See, number one, you're in a franchise. You already got approved for the franchise and everything.
Yeah. So all this stuff, I'm throwing it under my cousin's name. Everything. So just because right now there's 2 properties under my name and stuff and whatnot, and we're just moving shit around. You know what I mean? We're just trying to be.
If it's under your cousin's name, I mean, let me ask you a question. Did you pay 7-Eleven money to join their family?
No.
You didn't. You're not part of the franchise. You don't pay to get in.
No. Well, not for me personally, but my cousin will.
Well,
on Monday.
Part of owning the 7-Eleven is you got to be part of the 7-Eleven franchise, right?
Right. Yeah. No, all that's approved. All that's done. It's all done on the table, ready to rock.
If you got approved by the franchise, then you should have no problem borrowing money, because the franchises act like banks. They don't let you in unless they approve you. So you're gonna have to use your cousin to try to finance that goddamn business.
Yeah, perfect. That's fucking perfect.
Listen, if you got approved by 7-Eleven Corporation, then you guys are in good shape, or your cousin's in good shape, and there's got to be a way. You might be borrowing money at a rate you don't like right now, but maybe in a year you can refinance it.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Like we got to make the money. You know what I mean?
Well, you better get in there and get on that Slurpee machine. It hurt its back.
Yes, sir. All day, every day. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, good luck to you. All right.
You as well. Thank you for everything. By the way,
what's great is the machines turn the hot dogs for you. You don't have to do it.
There you go. Hello.
All right, good luck. Take care.
To you as well.
Thank you. Are we done?
Yep, Ben. Thank you for all the super chats.
You got any more callers that paid you any money? I don't like you stealing money from people, Polak.
No.
You got nobody else paid you money? What about you? What do you got?
We have a bunch of super chats, so we're just gonna say thank you to all.
Well, if they paid money and they said something, I like stealing. What do you got, Aaron?
You're the one who wants to wrap up.
Yeah, you want to wrap it up, Ben?
Go ahead.
There's 20
we have a special
chats.
dinner for you.
Say that Aaron can handle the chats, and I'm not eating dinner tonight anyway. She made salmon. I hate salmon.
Your favorite.
I'm not eating no goddamn salmon unless it's smoked salmon lox
I'll go through the
on a bagel with cream cheese.
Ben, it's the same
let Aaron go. Go, Aaron, go.
I'm just gonna read it. You gotta answer him. So Christopher, thank you for the $5. Tell Jimmy to drive better on Gulf Boulevard. Angela, thank you for the $4.99. Ben, your hair looks good today. Steve, thank you for the $5. What's your personal thoughts on developing trailer parks or pre-existing trailer parks? What areas?
All right, anywhere there's a demand for it. I would love to own a trailer park, especially a really nice one. Maybe seniors, whatever, or have transit trailer parks. They're the kind of people living all year round. Trailer parks are big out here. Even with all the damn hurricanes, there's still millions of trailer parks I think around the country. Listen, if there's a supply for it, and there's a demand for it, then supply it. But make sure the numbers work. Okay? What else? Call me at benmail.com. Let's talk about a trailer park
All right,
deal.
shout out Rebuilding. Is it worth getting into real estate with family at the start? Me and my brother want to go 50-50. I'm excited, but I'm hesitant in case it goes south.
Well, it depends on the relationship with your brother. If he's a prick, don't fuck with him.
Seriously.
I mean, basically, family can work well together or they can fucking destroy each other. It's up to the family members. I mean, honestly, me and my son work very well together. Outside of work, we got our issues, but, we try to separate the business from the personal. So anyway, if it can work, it can work. Listen, putting a deal together with your brother is better than not putting a deal together at all. So do whatever you can do in life.
All right, shout out Kevin. Shout out Nabil. Hi, I have seen a condo next to a university, but I did the math and it's break even. Have you bought a property based on future rental and price appreciation? What criteria?
I mean, if you can't raise the rent in it, and if you're breaking even every month, what's the point of owning it? I mean, maybe you're buying down the principal in 20 years and own the goddamn thing. But, I mean, typically, if you break it even, you're working for free. That's what it boils down to. Unless you can approve it, raise the rent, maybe sell it. I don't know. But if it's break even, what the fuck? Why do I want it? I got enough to worry about. I got a wife here, and kids to take care of. I ain't got time to work for free.
Shout out Clay V. Thank you for the $5. If you never take profits on properties because of the 1031, where does the income come from?
From the refinances that I have after I stabilize the property and improve it. And then I go to the bank and I say, hey, this $10 million property is now worth $20 million. How much you want to loan me? How much are they going to loan me? A lot. They're going to probably loan me about 80% of 20 million is 16 million. So I paid 10 million. I pulled 16 out, and I got paid back, and now I got a new loan, and that's the way it works. You after down the road, you refinance and you get money from the bank. And when you get money from the bank, you know what that means? It's a non-taxable event. Borrowed money is non-taxable. Next.
Shout out Jose. What will there be a crash in your opinion?
There's always a crash. Something's always crashing. Even my wife got into a crash the other day. You messed up the BMW. Listen,
no, I didn't. It was fine.
Interest rates are going up, so real estate prices are going to go down. I mean, that's all I can tell you for sure. Crash, I don't see why there'd be a crash. It's not like 08, where the banks loaned a bunch of money to people that couldn't afford it. Anybody that's in an adjustable rate is in trouble like me. If you fix your rate, which typically a lot of people do, especially with their homes, they ain't got shit to worry about because the payment's still the same. But crash, I don't see no big crash up in offices because technology is crushing the office space right now. Everybody is zooming, baby. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I got to check that stock tomorrow. Remind me. What else you got?
Shout out Ashka. Yo, Ben, are we going to a recession or what? Just explain that.
Recession just means you're going out for recess. Recession, schmession. I ain't got time to worry about it. Yeah, prices are going up on everything. But what happens after a recession? It comes back down. So, it's the world we live in. Things go up, things go down. It's a cycle. Everything's a cycle. You're going to have to live through the bad because it ain't going to always be good. That's what keeps the whole wheel working. I think there's people that make money when things are bad, and there's people that make money when things are good, and that's why everybody keeps making money. I don't know. I'm not a math person.
All right. Hudson's Lawn Service. When is the next life for sale in person?
In person. I should have done one this month, but I forgot, and Pollock is busy and all this. But anyway, I'm going to do one before the kids go back to school. I'm probably going to do Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to try next month. Maybe do one in Fort Lauderdale, one in Tampa. It's a lot of fun.
You only have 1 month. You know that?
I know, because we don't want to talk about why I only have 1 month. But I should have done one here while your niece was in summer school because we were here. But you didn't tell me and I didn't do it. All right. What else?
Shout out Aaron for the $20. Shout out Saul. Thank you for the $4.99. You haven't received any parking tickets yet?
Listen, I haven't. And I can't tell why. But, I got a friend in the parking, division. But if he's a guy I don't think his name's Saul. Maybe he's under a different name. But no, I haven't got any parking tickets lately. And hopefully I won't.
All right, shout out Daniel. Do you have any deals that keep outside your 1031? If the property is a long term, like your Home Depot, what would happen when the 1031 clock hits?
I bought the Home Depot with 1031 money. I'm going to sit back and forget about Home Depot. And, because it's a long lease. It goes out like 15 years or some craziness. They ain't going nowhere. So I'm not going to have to worry about 1031 in it. My basis is a lot lower than what I paid. So if I did sell it, I'd have to 1031 out of it. But once you 1031 to a long-term property, you forget about it. That's what a lot of people have been doing right now, which drove the price of real estate up. They got all these 1031 money and they park at places. So they overpay for the real estate.
Shout out Jonathan. I've been following you for a couple of years. I picked up a 27-unit apartment complex for $2.3 million 4 months ago. Pulled rents from $750 to $1,200 per unit.
Holy moly!
With new rent prices, should I sell or take the profits or 1031?
What I would do in this market right now is I would try to refinance and get all your money back. Because the place is worth a lot more if you increase the rent by $450 goddamn dollars. And you only paid about 80, what is it, 27? 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 5 is 56. 16 and 56 is $2,000,001. You paid about 80 something a door, and you get $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month is probably worth about $140 or $50 a door, depending on the location. First, look at your options. Go to the bank and try to refinance and see how much money you get out. You get all your money back and then some, like I just talked about in that $10 million, $20 million deal. Or look at what the market will pay. If you're going to have such tremendous profits and you got somewhere to go with that money to do it again. See, the whole trick is, can you do it again? Can you find another deal like that? Because that deal's a home run. Okay. And sit down and figure out if you refinance it, how much cash you put in your pocket tax for deferred or free or whatever you want to call it. You ain't paying tax on borrowed money till you sell. And what your cash flow is going to be. How much less cash flow you're going to have by taking out the big loan, and then once you get all your money out, you're playing, you got cash flow with the bank's money. What else can you ask for? What else?
Shout out Nuisance. May you I own a business that nets me $10K plus a month, but my credit sucks. How can I get into real estate without credit repair road?
Well, credit is credit. You're only worth what your credit is. Me and her almost got in a big fight the other day because she doesn't pay bills. So she took on some account with Nordstrom, and now they're sending notices that the bill is late. It's going to be on her credit report.
I fixed it, but I fixed it. I fixed
You
it.
fixed it, yeah. So anyway, the point is you can't let it keep happening. Make sure you
That's
fix
true.
it permanently.
That's true.
Have an automatic thing paid on it every month or something. I don't know. Point is your credit. You're only worth what your credit is. If you don't have a bunch of money and assets, even me with all my assets, it wouldn't look good if I had a bad credit report. Okay, but work on your credit. That's step number one, because nobody's gonna loan you money without good credit. Go get a credit repair. They got nonprofits out there to do it. There's all kinds of credit repairs. There's all kinds of processes they know to help you clean your credit up. A lot of times you can settle for 10 cents on the dollar and get that shit off your credit report. I did it when I was young. I went to a company and they sent letters out and they didn't respond, and they went to the credit agency, and the credit agency has rules where they have to take it off your credit report if they don't respond within 30 days, and all kinds of rules and loans. That's why you go to a specialist. Find a credit repair specialist and get a plan and execute the plan. Next thing you know, you'll have good credit.
All right, shout out Lath, shout out Aaron. I own a cannabis dispensary and I'm now opening a new restaurant in a high traffic downtown location. I have $75K invested. Once it's open and profiting, should I sell it for $200K plus or keep it long term and run it?
I mean, are you putting cannabis in the food? I mean, if you are, you'll probably make millions. But the point is, if you can open up a business, it's different. If you can make money on it, you got to look at what is the most you can think you can make with this business. What's the maximum I could do with this business? How far can I take it? And then figure out how much money you'll make if you keep the business, how much money if you sell it. Businesses are different when they buy them than real estate. Businesses, I don't know. I don't really know, to tell you the truth. How they're valued or anything is based on what kind of money you're making. Figure out what's best for you. If you want to keep, how much time does it take out of your life to run that restaurant? Can you hire people to run it for you? Can you still make a profit? How much money will somebody come and write you a check for to walk away? I don't know. You got to figure all these things out.
All right, shout out Fire Cleanup, shout out Cuba. I have $20K cash sitting. I want to get started with my own properties. Currently, I manage a duplex my family owns. What's the best first step?
Get approved for a loan. How much will that $20K buy you? Will it get you a fourplex on an FHA loan with 3.5% down? Find out what you have the ability to do. Go talk to the bank. Try to get approved. They might say, no, you don't qualify for FHA. I don't know. Get on bailmail.com. We'll talk numbers and personal stuff. But 20 grand is only going to buy you at most $100,000 deal. I don't know where you're at. Is there a duplex for $100,000? I don't know. We need to talk specifics. You need to find out all these things. But line up the money. You can't buy real estate unless you got the bank to loan your money. You ain't going to find no duplex 20 grand.
Shout out Too Short.
Too
Ben,
short.
Be careful.
Too short.
Ben, be careful of that tour guy at John's Pass.
The tour guide at John's Pass? What tour guide? All we know is we got the new duck
boat.
It's not a duck boat. Don't say that. Captain will kill you. It's called the trolley boat.
Trolley boat, sorry.
That's the only tour I know. There's a bunch of tours around here, but I don't know
It's
anybody.
a boat-made bus.
And it's great. Come on down to John's Pass and take a ride.
All right, shout out Far Out Aliens. I want to bring myself and my cat to Florida. I want to stay in a hotel room. Are you still willing to make a deal on a 3 to 6 month rental?
What? You want to bring a cat? Did he say a cat?
Yes.
Meow. Where's the cat going to shit? In a litter box in the room and stink up the place? I don't know. If you want, there's always room to make a deal anywhere. You can call any of my hotels in Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, and see what they'll charge you, but not by Clearwater Beach. We ain't doing by the month. But, talk to the Tampa and Fort Lauderdale. Go to benmail.com or ask Rafal and send him a question by email, and he'll respond to who to talk to if you want to seriously rent place for 3 to 6 months. I'm thinking about buying up a bunch of hotels and doing that, making it long-term stays. I'm going to call it Studio City, baby, and just make a nice little kitchen, nothing fancy, for people that ain't got a lot of time, they ain't cooking, they ain't got kids, they ain't got cats, or you can have a cat. And that's it. What else?
That's it.
That's it.
No
We're
more
done.
super chats.
Hey, it was fun. And thanks for everybody that tuned in. I appreciate it. Hopefully, Rafal come out with a new episode this weekend. And hopefully, my boat will get fixed. and hopefully my wife will be nice.
Don't worry, I'm making nice. I'm being nice. I'm
You're
making
being
you,
nice?
Yeah. Hey, I make your favorite dinner tonight.
Oh, God, I'm going out to eat.
No,
All
you're
right.
not. You've been going out to
Adios,
eat. Bye, guys.
amigos.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, Felicia.